Greetings, Earthlings, humans, Nephilims. What's the other one, Jake?
Anunnaki,
clones. What else you got? Whatever. People from the Philippines. I don't give a fuck. Welcome to the Roseanne. Oh, and of course, animals, who are by far the most intelligent life form on this planet, because they don't need to bullshit themselves, unlike the human species and all related life forms. Welcome to the Roseanne Barr podcast.
Oh, you see, my patience is growing thin.
Hey, everybody, we got a banger show today. I'm so excited because I'm sick of talking politics, and I'm sure you are too. I'm sick of talking about God and redemption. That gets fucking old. And I'm happier than hell to be talking about comedy, the God-given craft of comedy. And I have a great comic with me who I met on the Greg Gutfeld show. Mazel tov to the Greg Gutfeld family on the arrival of a beautiful baby girl. That's wonderful. Anyway, here we are with a comic favorite of mine, Jeff Dye. Hi, Jeff.
Thank you. I love what you've done with the place. Thank you for wearing the gold shoes with the gold hat.
It's my Trump shoes.
You look
Look
great. Yeah, I was
it.
very impressed with this
bitches,
Christmas
with the
outfit.
Yeah.
Do you think the T is for Trump or for trolling? Do you think the T stands for I'm trolling everybody with my new Trump shoes?
It's kind of that.
Yeah, it feels good.
Or Tesla.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Tesla, Trump, troll.
It's good for a good victory lap, you know? That's what these shoes are good for.
I'm taking a son of a bitch of a victory lap. I am so happy.
Me too.
Oh, I try not to rub it in everybody's face, but it's
hard not to. Yeah, like it's been so long since we got a win, you know? And now we're winning. It feels like it just keeps coming, you know? It's been very nice.
Isn't it great? Isn't it great to see the woke just crying and fucking feeling
throwing
like
a fit.
shit?
Yeah,
they are throwing a fit.
Yeah, they're like temper tantrums on Instagram. I'm just giggling, you know. I told Joe this too, but like I literally like after Trump won the election, the next morning I woke up. It felt kind of like the pressure had popped, you know.
Yeah.
Even on both sides, no one's campaigning anymore. It's just settled.
Thank God, yeah.
There's no more. You don't have to have arguments anymore. It's just whether you like it or you don't, it's over. So there's kind of this peace. And before I turned on my phone from Do Not Disturb and before I opened my email or Instagram, I remember just sitting there going, probably going to lose some friends today. Like this is going to be tough, you know, like just watching everybody and my replies. But it was great. I feel
Did you lose friends?
No, luckily I didn't. But I just felt
that's cool.
I was like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to.
Did you rub it in?
Deal with this without looking like I'm rubbing it in or look like I'm celebrating too hard.
I just didn't mention it to the people in my family. I didn't say one word.
Yeah, that's good.
I just gloated in private.
You're a good winner.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. They're bad winners.
Yeah, bad winners and good lose. Well, maybe I don't know if they're good losers because they're throwing fits.
Yeah,
but I remember like when my people didn't win, like I was just like, this is the state of the world. Okay, Biden's in office now. Yeah. I was not happy about it, but I also didn't yell in my car on TikTok. There's a big difference. I would just go, oh, this sucks. My guy didn't win.
Yeah, because we have some modicum of self-control and self-respect.
Yeah, we tried to. Yeah, like I just don't think that's the right. So even if I were to sit in my car and throw a temper tantrum over something, I would have the shame to not record it and post it.
Right?
Right? I'm not above throwing a fit or crying, you know, but I wouldn't record myself crying and then post it for the internet to judge. That seems strange.
What are they doing that for?
No idea.
Are they proud of they're proud of their emotion? They're proud of their ability to overact their emotions.
I think it was very performative. Yeah, I think that they wanted you to go, me too. Yep. Wow, me too. I'm sad too. And it's like, no, you're finding community and misery and very weird.
I think they're trying to signal Hollywood.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's an actress that can harness all of her emotion and bring it right to the surface. We've got to get her on Friends.
Yeah. I think the most performative is when they have like celebrities make these videos.
Oh, I love
that. They'll
give
them like a script. They'll all read the same script and then they'll cut sentence to sentence together.
Yeah.
Those are the cringiest things I've ever seen in my life. It's so bad.
Do you remember Imagine when they sang Imagine?
So bad.
That was the worst thing I've ever. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah. That's when I knew they were all under MK Ultra
For
German
something's
mind
going on.
control.
Yeah,
What
something's
about
going
the
on.
worst? Let's talk about the worst. Sharon Stone, how about going? Some of these deplorables don't even have passports.
Yeah.
And they think they represent the working people of America. Well, what about us actors? We portray working people all the time when we're flying around in our private jets and land.
There was one with Walter White from Breaking Bad. I don't know the actor's name. Bryan Cranston.
Oh.
It was Bryan Cranston and Rainn Wilson, who plays Dwight Schrute on The Office or whatever. Both great actors, but they're just actors. You know, the same way you could just dismiss all the things I'm saying because I'm a comedian. Like, at the end of the day, they're just a bunch of theater kids, you know, who have like $1 million homes now and stuff. And they're just like everyone else, I guess. Yeah. But like they're sitting there in their white guilt being like, and slavery this, and some people don't understand. They don't know their history. It's like, I don't think you guys know your history. Also, this is like a multi-million-dollar podcast studio that you're trying to tell people. I was like, I just thought it was the
And you know they didn't do it for free. I mean, the Kamala campaign proved they don't do it for free.
Oh, yeah, they got paid pretty good.
Yeah, or else they're out on fucking bail.
yeah.
You know, they're forced to.
It was confusing times. I'm so happy it's over.
I love seeing Hollywood have to eat its own shit. I fucking love it.
I love it too.
So you think there's a shift to common sense in the country?
That's what I'm hoping. Yeah, I think that I've never not liked the left or Democrats ever. Yeah. But I think that smart people go, oh, this has gone too far. You know, like Jordan Peterson always talks about it. He's like, we know when the right goes too far. Mm-hmm. We'll all literally go, that's the right going too far. Right. But it seems like no matter what the left does, everyone goes, isn't it virtuous? Oh, they're cutting kids' wieners off. Or they're warmongering. Yeah. Or they're saying that big pharma knows your body better than you. And it's just anything the left does, we go, isn't that great?
No, we don't.
Go, no, it's not great.
No, it isn't. They do.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
They say it's great. We don't.
I know, and that's why we got to push back. And I think that the common sense went, oh, this is them going too far. Yeah. It's okay to call the left out on some things, you know?
Yeah.
And
they're shocked because they didn't think they'd ever have to account for nothing.
I know, and I think that that's when I really left the left, is when I was like, dude, this has gone insane. It's gone too far.
Yeah, way too far.
My buddy, I won't say his name on here because he's not famous anyways, but he wouldn't want me to say his name. I texted him, I said, oh, you know, you happy about the election? He's in Florida. And he's like, oh, I'm not like a Trump guy. And I go, oh, you didn't vote for Trump? He goes, I didn't say that. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. He goes, this wasn't about Donald Trump. This was about common sense. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's really a reasonable way to just see the both options, not just be blinded by your party.
Yeah. Did you see Rob Schneider's speech at TPUSA? He introduced Trump. He said, he addressed the left. He said, you didn't lose because of homophobia, transphobia, or misogyny, nor racism. You lost because, and then he listed the things they really did, of which I'm blank on now, but they were hilarious.
That's great.
It was because
you said men can have babies.
Oh yeah.
You know, and he listed
You're letting biological men beat up women in sporting events.
Yeah. That was one he mentioned.
Yeah, and you called parents terrorists just because they don't want porn in kindergarten.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a great speech. It was a great speech.
Yeah, it's very fascinating what is and isn't, like the mental, I know that's like a fun term, like the mental gymnastics people will go through to defend their things.
Yeah, it is that. The holidays are here, which also means it's sick season. Sinus infections, strep throat, upper respiratory, hacking. Everyone is traveling and passing it all around. But guess what? You don't have to deal with it this year, folks. Why? Because this little blue case is your mobile urgent care. It has ivermectin, Z-Pak, amoxicillin, and 6 other prescription medications at your fingertips. Thanks to the Wellness Company's Medical Emergency Kit, you can tackle anything severe your body comes across without ruining your holiday plans and winding up in urgent care. This kit cuts through the red tape by allowing you to take control of your health versus being reactive and inconvenienced during precious family time. You don't need a gatekeeper because their medical board created a guidebook that outlines common treatments for UTIs, strep throat, bacterial infections, respiratory illnesses, and more. All it takes is filling out a digital intake form, and your kit arrives at your door in 1 to 2 weeks. Travel with peace of mind this holiday season. Order your kit now by heading to twc.health/RB and use the code RB to save up to $30 off, plus free shipping. USA residents only. I think that it was all a psyop to see how far they could push people before people said no.
I could see that, and I'm shocked it went this far, if I'm honest.
Too.
Yeah. Tim Urban's got a great book called What is Our Problem? And it's very, like, reasonable. It has nothing to do with, like, conspiracy. He just believes that the plan for, like, DIE, like diversity and inclusion, all that stuff, was well-intentioned. And I actually believe that it was.
Ever.
You don't think so?
You did at the time, affirmative action, when you were liberal.
Oh, when I was a libtard, I did.
Well, me too. I think that, like,
I did too.
I think it blossomed out of, like, nice people being like, oh, we're doing the right thing, not realizing how nefarious it really is, and that maybe the powers that be had. I think, when my liberal friends in Seattle say these things, they think they're being good people.
Yeah,
they just they don't have any, like, they're not good at questioning things or making their own decisions.
They're not good at methodology.
Yeah.
They don't have any sense of that, to create why they create chaos.
Yeah.
So they can then bring in the structures of order, which are always fascist. So the left always serves the fascist right because they're the same thing.
Oh, 100%. It's a full, like, it's like a loop. I think also too, it's like, it's all feelings over logic.
Yeah.
And sometimes your feeling is, this heavyset person, feels uncomfortable on an airplane because without doing, like, the logical thinking of, like, you can't just make seats for every type of body. This is just, they just made a seat. They didn't think about the small percentage of people who are, larger bodied or whatever. So
morbidly obese.
Yeah. Like when you start going, oh, if I'm a manufacturer and I'm making a chair, I don't factor children because there's
right.
And I don't factor, like, the obese. I don't do any of these things. And so, like, if you just think of it that way, there was no ill intent. No one's being mean to you. It wasn't like, and I think that the left is so feely touchy.
Yeah, but that was just part of what do you call it, Jake? Mass mind control.
Right.
They were really herding people into the pens.
It's
okay, your hair looks like this, so you go here.
Yeah.
Your nose looks like this, so you go here. I mean, it was like, it was so automatized, just purely fascist.
It's terrible.
But I like some aspects of fascism, like book burning. I'm so into that. And I was going to say,
burning?
Yeah, today I thought, what would be a step forward to use fascist things? All diet books burned on bonfires across America, starting for that, and then all self-help books.
See, this shows how open-minded you are.
I am.
That you're looking for the positive in fascism.
The full gamut, bitch.
Like, there's some positives of fascism.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
Some books should be burned.
Yeah, White Fragility, that should be burned for sure. Have you ever read it?
The
D.L.
Bell
Hughley's
Curve.
book, burn that up. It's a terrible book. I read it. It's a bunch of nonsense.
Oh my God, they got some shit on DL. I know they do.
Dude, DL's book was the most
what was it? I never read
victim-y. It was basically White Fragility 2.0. But he's like...
He used to be my friend too, but he went too far.
Yeah, it's very
Why
strange.
did he go so far?
I don't know.
I know
it's
why.
Tribal?
No, it's because that's the only way you get the money.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Nobody is going to hire, like, it's so fucking racist, really, that I can't get hired by any black organization because, and he can't get hired by any Jewish organization, because they all have to have their demographic niche, which is nothing more than fucking racism.
100%.
Preaching to the fucking converted.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Right.
When I used to go on TV, I used to fight with these motherfuckers at the top all the time. I go, what are you talking about demographics? Look at my demographics, and that's why they hated me, because I had every kind of every age.
Which is great. That's what you
want. But
they used to care about ratings.
No, that was a con.
What?
That I had that many demographics.
Oh.
I was supposed to only have women 18 to 35 because that's where they figured all the money was. And I used to get so mad, and I go, God damn it. that is not where the money is. It's the baby boomers that are buying the shit for their kids
Yes,
of that
100%,
age.
Yeah.
You guys are too fucking stupid to read demographics the right way. And they
Yeah.
were.
Yeah, 100%.
And they fucking
Well, look at
destroyed
TV
everything.
now. It's over anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
stupid.
dead. Like Hollywood is dead.
I love it. As soon
Yeah.
as I left, I knew it was going to die because I go, who the fuck are they going to steal from if I'm not there?
Yeah, no shit. I'm so sad. Like I gotta say, like I grew up watching Roseanne. It was like part of the whatever that block of television was. They're
Yeah.
like
Tuesday night.
in '90s, we all watched the same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if there's a show you didn't like,
Mhm.
you still watched
There's
it.
like
It
4
was-
channels. You didn't have a
Yeah,
choice.
and we liked them all. And then there was one that we didn't like as much as the other ones, but
Yeah.
we
You
watched
still
them all.
watched
Yeah,
it.
but the rebrand of Roseanne was so smart.
Thank you. You know
Yeah.
what? All my good comic friends like Norm and Bob Einstein and Louis C.K. would go, man, you hit it on
was
every
perfect.
level.
Because everyone has a relative that they disagree with politically, no matter what that politics is.
Absolutely.
And you were willing to make that show, and you were willing to make that position. It was really, really, really smart. Then you also had the opportunity to, because it's written, it's scripted, you could make these conversations that families should be having, and these kind of. It was so smart.
Oh my
And I
God,
thought that it was
way
the-
too smart.
Such a tragedy to, punish you or a show for a tweet,
Yeah.
which I also thought was fascinating.
It's so fascinating.
Yeah, like words are evidently more offensive to modern times than actual acts of violence
Yeah.
or drinking and driving or crimes.
Sexual assault.
Or like allegations of like really nefarious things.
Yeah.
Evidently, one tweet is more. Here's the second part of the tragedy that I used to say about this before I met you was that like, let's say we looked through all your tweets, right? Every tweet you've ever had.
Yeah, I
Thank God we
deleted
didn't.
20,000 of them
Yeah.
before I went back to TV because they
Yeah,
were
just
horrible.
in case. Yeah. But also, let's look through all your 20,000 tweets. Not one of those would have made you $1.
Right.
But some of them, definitely one of them, cost you a lot of reputation
That's a good
and
point.
money. So it's like at a certain point you go, well, why am I even tweeting?
Yeah.
if it's all risk and zero reward.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, if I'm Kendall Jenner or something, and I can tweet and they give me $50,000
Yeah.
because I promoted Dunkin' Donuts or something. That's
Right.
different. But like for us, we're just throwing out ideas in the ether, just talking to our fans, and it makes us zero.
Right.
And then you drink some wine or whatever, and you tweet like a funny thing,
And you're done.
and it's the next day you're like, oh, now I have to like be in trouble. Like
Yeah.
it's like being a kid again. So I remember thinking there's so many tragedies in that one thing. It was so
I agree.
unfortunate.
Well, I'm very proud of the tweet
Yeah.
because I realize now it's been 7-8 years.
Yeah.
And some guy's making a whole documentary about
Oh,
it
great.
because it was very prescient
Yeah.
and nobody got it.
Right.
And instead, they just total freaked out like libtards do
Sure.
because they put their meaning on it. Their
Yep.
Western, liberal, chauvinistic, imperialistic viewpoint on what it meant, which it meant nothing like they said it did.
If you just make everything racist,
Right.
then you can do anything you want. Just call everything racist. And that's what they did to you. And that's what they do with everything. Like Sam Harris has a great book where he talks about how like he came downstairs and his daughter was putting on blackface. Because her and her friend were going to go to school as Salt and Pepper. So her friend was putting on white paint and was dressing with a big S on her stomach. And she was going to be Pepper. So she's just putting black. And as he's trying to describe to this little girl why she can't do that, he's realizing it doesn't even make sense why I'm telling her. She's not going in blackface.
Yeah, she's Pepper.
She's just being Pepper. And then you start to go, well, back in the old days, minstrels, and you're like, well, this really isn't the same thing.
No.
yeah.
And also that's not so they've branded everything to be like, it's racist, you're a racist. Athletes are allowed to literally hit their girlfriends and when they're not allowed, they get less sanctioned than you do
Yeah.
for hitting people in crosswalks with their automobiles while they're on drugs.
Absolutely.
And they get less punishment than something
What
that
about
was
all the pedos at Disney that they hired back after they got rid
crazy.
of my ass?
Yeah, that's crazy to
Yeah.
me.
hmm
Yeah.
James Gunn.
So much like there's just so much
He had pedo
hypocrisy.
jokes, just so we don't get in trouble. He wasn't a pedo. He made pedo jokes.
No, he made like 20,000
Yeah.
pro-pedophile
He got a 10-month
tweets,
Oh,
and they
okay.
hired his ass back.
Yeah.
What were the tweets like? How
I
could
like
make
fucking
a
little
pro
boy.
I like
pedophile?
it when young boys touch me in my funny place.
You're kidding.
Oh no, they're
No,
horrible.
and worse.
That's really? Because I was
100%.
thinking like maybe I was trying to like be
No, he's like, and he
diplomatic.
was no, he wasn't. He was like, I like to fuck little boys in the asshole. It was really, really explicit.
Yeah, he said that. Uh-huh.
And he got a 10-month suspension, and then Disney hired him back. But this is, I'll just say this real quick. When they were calling her racist and stuff, there was all these articles about Hollywood when it goes bad, and it would be like Harvey Weinstein because that story broke.
Yeah.
And it would be all these like sexual
They
assaulters,
put me
and
in
then
with
my
all
mom.
the rapists.
Yeah,
It
which
was
is
like
crazy.
combined.
No, but they included me with the rapists.
It's unfair. Like that.
what
Like
he
at
said.
the end of the day, you got it. Like one of these was just a tweet.
Yeah, it's weird.
Also, is racism so magic that we put it above everything else?
That's what I've
Yeah.
always
Like,
wondered.
let's say it was racist.
Yeah.
Is that somehow worse
Than punching a
than
pregnant woman.
beating up your girlfriend? Like
No, it's
as
not.
a New York Jet?
Well,
I
is
would
that-
argue any violence is worse than any words.
I agree.
Even if the words might be construed as racist.
I agree.
No, they couldn't have been racist. There's no fucking way they were racist.
Yeah.
But you know, I thought the bitch was white, as I've said 1,000
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
times. And she did look exactly like Helena Bonham Carter.
I compared Michael
In the-
Jackson to
in
the
the,
girl monkey from Planet of the Apes.
Did you get in trouble?
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Same girl
yeah,
monkey.
Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah, she
Doctor.
looked just like that monkey.
Well, that wasn't a monkey. That's the point.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I looked at the picture of Valerie Jarrett next to Helena Bonham Carter in makeup as a science fiction character, certainly she was not an ape. She was a science fiction hybrid character. I didn't assume either of them to be a black woman.
Right. Yeah,
Because I'm not a
because one's
racist.
a monkey and one's a
Yeah, because neither of them was an ape,
right.
and neither of them was a black woman in my estimation.
Yeah,
I did not think Valerie Jarrett was a black woman because she was born in Iran.
right.
And she looks like my fucking family.
Yeah.
Except for my family has the decency not to wear a hairstyle like that. You know,
Well, even if the tweet would have gone unnoticed, it
My
would have made
family-
you $0.
Yeah, that's a good
it
point.
All
cost
risk.
me my whole life's work.
Yeah, it's so
How
unfair.
about that?
On the dream powder, the beam, it's giving you like a second life. You have so much more energy.
I do, even though I'm sick.
You've been
I
sick.
got a little bit of a cold,
I know.
but the dream and the beam are keeping me on the scene.
It's not like you're taking drugs to be up. You're just actually getting good, deep sleep. It's that
I
simple.
wake up and have another milkshake and go right back to sleep.
Yeah, it's the best. Yeah, it's just, and it's good sleep because it's all natural stuff that's all been proven to help you sleep, and you're going to get a good night's sleep. And really, at the end of the day, as a father of two girls, you really learn that there's nothing more important.
And that is why I am so excited to talk about Beam's Dream Powder, a science-backed, healthy nighttime blend for sleep that is actually clinically shown to improve sleep and have you waking up refreshed. Other sleep aids can cause next-day grogginess, but Dream contains a powerful, all-natural blend of reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigermin, and melatonin to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up totally refreshed. The ultimate sleep refresh for the new year. Try Beam's best-selling Dream Powder and get up to 40% off for a limited time when you go to shopbeam.com/Roseanne and use the code Roseanne at checkout. That's shop BEAM.com/Roseanne and use code Roseanne for up to 40% off. But that's how the left is.
Also, when we opened the show, you say you were doing all the greetings to all the
Mhm.
different types of species. You gave a special shout out to animals.
I love that.
How the hell do you know what Nephilim are? I am shocked that you even... That was like the third one, Nephilim.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
because my daughter's all into the Nephilim.
Oh, okay. I was going
She's
to say, not
one
a lot
of
of people
those-
know about like I was pretty impressed with that.
That's how we
Well,
got Sam Tripoli on. We tracked him
Yeah,
down.
he talked to us about the Nephilim.
Oh, yeah, he did?
I didn't really know what they were till he told me.
Yeah, it's pretty, like, they're not real. There's not a lot about them in the Bible, but it's...
Well, it says
not
they're
even-
the fallen angels or
Yeah.
something. They're joining up with the devil or something.
some people believe they're Bigfoot. That's why
Is
I
that
know.
right?
That's why I know about them.
Yeah.
I'm like a big
Oh.
Bigfoot guy.
Are you?
And like, there's like a sect of Bigfoot believers who are like, oh, it's probably the Nephilim. Like, that's how we'll describe
Look at that technique.
what people are seeing is probably,
Well, they were giants. Yeah, that would
described
make
as
sense.
Nephilim from the That's the only reason I know about it.
Do you think there's beings other than human beings that we are not really aware of yet going around here?
Yes. 100%.
I do too.
Yeah.
Do you think they're in drones over New Jersey?
I think that Bigfoot or Sasquatch is just like a big primate that lives in the woods and in caves. And also, when we go in the woods, we don't go in the woods at nighttime if they're like nocturnal, right? Like well, you can be in the woods and be right next to a bear sometimes and not even know. So let alone if this thing is pretty smart, just hiding, I think, and very rare, like a small species.
You believe in? I'm not judging. I'm asking. You really believe in Bigfoot?
Oh yeah,
I do too.
I think there's a bunch of them.
A bunch of evidence.
Just a bipedal hominid. Also, if you go to the Natural History Museum, they have like a thing called a Gigantopithecus, and it's literally a bipedal ape that used to live here. So it's just that.
Yeah,
it's just not extinct, But I also think that like there's things maybe we can't see.
Yeah.
And we go, well, it can't be real. Look, there's nothing here, and you're like, well, they're probably invisible.
This one old rabbi about 2,000 years ago, or even longer, maybe 1,500. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But he said if we were able to see the things that are all around us, we would go mad.
I believe that.
And then if you look under a microscope at like viruses and bugs that are in the air.
Just on your hand.
And the mites on our body. And they're all monstrous looking.
Yeah.
And they're everywhere, but we don't see them.
And if those can be invisible, why couldn't something else be invisible? Like, right? Like, because the guy who hypothesized about germs, he was like, maybe there's these invisible things on our hands and we should wash our hands before surgery.
Yeah.
They put him in a mental institution.
Oh my God, really?
And he died in the mental institution, and it was like 20, 30, whatever years later that they were like, he's right, actually, that we should be disinfecting our hands.
Well, they say that's why they burned all the witches in Europe, because they brought out male obstetricians at that time and the midwives. It was a war against them, and because they washed their hands.
Yeah.
But these male obstetricians, they went from house to house delivering babies, and they did not wash their hands, which caused childbed fever, which they blamed on the women midwives.
Oh, man.
And then burned them at the stake.
It's insane.
Yeah, everything's too insane. Did you always know? Well, I always maintain that comics see how insane everything is as children.
I've always looked at the world different. What I give credit to is that I have dyslexia.
I do too.
So, like, the basic way is like when you're teaching a young person, you go A to B to C, And since no matter what you're teaching them, you teach them A, B to C. Whereas my brain can't do that. Right. So for me to get to C, I took all these strange leaps. And so when you do that, because I remember I'd try to ask questions in class. I would ask a sincere question to the teacher, and the whole class would laugh. And I'd be like, oh, I guess I'm funny. But that wasn't me trying to be funny. That was me just asking, I guess, a dumb question or seeing it so different that everyone laughed. And I remember learning I was funny long before I ever learned other things. And I think it's because of the dyslexia. Like I just my learning disability made me more interesting to the way everyone else thinks.
I always, when I was a kid with dyslexia and every other thing that there is, I used to always read all the books backwards. I always started at the last page and read backwards.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like Memento every day for you.
Yeah, it kind of was that. Because I had to know what happened before I could see what caused it.
That's a very female trait.
It is?
Well, not reading books backwards, but wanting to know if something's going to work before you.
Yes.
Well, maybe.
Yeah. They're always planning. Like, well, I want to know if this is going to work out. You're like, we don't know if it's going to work out. We just have to see what happens,
Yeah, that is a real difference between myself and my former male partners. Because, it's like, I don't even know. You know how they said women are from Mars and whatever they said.
Venus.
Yeah.
Men
I used to have a joke
Mars,
about
women
that.
Are from Venus.
What was it?
It was, what is the book title called?
Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
I used to say, the old saying, guys, women are from Venus and men are from fucking Earth. We're from Earth. Can you just try to get along with us? We're Earthlings, Yeah.
I used to have a joke about men. They're very simple.
Yes.
Us women are very calculating, conniving, and labyrinthine in our thinking, whereas men are very simple. And so we should learn how to please them. That'll make our life easier. And basically what it is
clean underpants, and a big ass bowl of chili.
Yeah, that'll do it. That's it. Yeah, we're very simple, very predictable creatures, which is.
Is it? Are you married?
No.
Have you ever been married?
No, but I think this is my dyslexic brain again. Like, I've learned a great way to live that works for me, that is unusual to everyone else that I know. I feel like I've really carved out my life in a way that I am sad. I don't know if the term, what's the right term? I am unrepentantly, desperately, painfully alone. You know, like I'm alone, but there's so many positives and so many negatives of it.
So you're not a person who wants to couple up.
I see the perks of that, and when I'm with a woman, like I think I want that, and then also like I like being alone too. Like I like both.
Yeah, can you ever find that balance with someone?
I don't know. Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too. I'm like that
tricky.
too. I'm like, can you just sit over there and shut up? I have these other interests.
Yeah.
And they never do.
Yeah, they don't want to.
They're like, but I have needs and I have things to say. Fuck off.
Shut up. I told you to be over there. Have you heard Patrice's used to have a bit?
Oh, God, the greatest.
He's the best. It was something like, I'm going to slaughter it. Everyone's going to make fun of me in the comments. But it was like, men want a woman near. Like we want you nearby. We don't want you here, but like just around, you know,
Yeah.
like somewhere near, you know?
Yeah, if we need something.
Yeah, or just like when I want to, you know, like
Yeah.
when I want to be.
You could date someone from the military because they have to leave for months at a time.
But then I'd
Yeah,
complain
but then
about
you have
that.
to
I know
worry.
myself so well. I would complain about that.
Flight
You'd have to
attendants.
worry about them.
Yeah.
So that's a
You get
bummer.
hurt or cheat on me or something. Yeah.
Or if they get killed,
Well, you know, I
then
just
you're
thought
like,
about.
Christ, there goes 3 months of my life.
Yeah,
Start
best
all
of
over.
time.
Fucking grieving when I could be fucking.
Living. You know, I could have went out this entire time if I was just gonna die. That's you need to know the end again.
But I mean, comics, we are really we aren't really selfish, but we're self-contained kind of.
Yeah, I think genius loves isolation, and
We have to be isolated.
yeah, it's very like insular, and then we get so much attention on stage.
Yeah.
That really fills whatever that hole is
Yeah,
for
it
being
does.
heard, or for, you know, because so many partners need to be heard, and they're like, oh, my boyfriend doesn't listen, or my wife doesn't, you know, really listen to me when I'm sharing, and it's like, well, as a stand-up, even when I'm wrong, I'm being heard. Like they're all like validating me, and that feels very good.
Well, this is it a craving for validation?
I've always craved that. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And attention.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun. I also am not ashamed of it. I think that's good.
I'm not either.
Yeah,
And love and approval, all the
Yeah, it's
things you
good.
didn't get at home.
exactly.
Did you used to get beat?
No, I never got beat, but we were just ignored.
Mhm.
A lot of ignoring.
Yeah, we
And that
had-
makes a comic when you're like, Mom, look what I drew, and then nothing, and then you're like, Mom, look at me, I'm jumping on this thing over here. And like
Yeah.
you're just always trying to get them to look at you.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, they ignore you.
Yeah. You grew up Mormon, right?
No, I grew
No.
up Jew in Mormon, Utah.
Oh, Jewish in Mormon, Utah.
Yeah,
That's
so
what it
that's
is.
why I say we stuck out like a sore thumb. We only had the one mother,
That's great.
but
Oh, you know, Mormons love polygamy jokes because
Yeah.
it makes them seem cool. Mormons are such dorks that when you do like, I bet this guy's got 3 wives, he sits there like, yeah, I could have 3 wives, but really he's got 1 wife that hates him.
he could have 3 wives that hate him.
Yeah, exactly. He's all like kind of jealous of the polygamists, you know.
We grew up in Salt Lake, and about a block and a half from us was a polygamous family.
Oh, really? The Jeff's family? Is it the Warren?
No,
Jeffs,
they
or-
were in southern Utah.
Oh, okay.
This was, I can't remember their name, and I wouldn't say it anyway, but they went to our school, and the girls, they all had to wear really long dresses that
Yeah.
went down to their ankles, and they had those kind of Amish hats.
Yeah, they're like Mennonites.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit. And they also had 4 houses that were all connected by hedges and gates, and the moms lived in each house with their kids, and the dad lived in the big house with, I guess, his youngest wife and their kids, but he'd go visit and all that, and the kids were just accustomed to it,
Yeah.
trying to go to public school, which was hell for 'em.
Tough. Yeah, yeah.
And I was a horrible girl, always wanting to be, just tell horrible jokes. I couldn't
I
help
love
it.
that you were always Roseanne.
Yeah, I couldn't help it.
Yeah, but that's great. You're you. You knew who you were early.
No, I didn't. I just thought of myself as bad. I'm a bad girl because I always try to make fun of people's misery.
I love it. It made you happy to like
Yeah,
be.
it gave
it's
me a
very
boost.
funny. Yeah. You saw someone fall off the monkey bars, you just start laughing. You're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's my evil origin story. Yeah.
So this one girl was crossing the street and she got hit by a car, which God works in mysterious ways.
Karma.
16 years later, I also was hit by a car.
Oh no.
It's my karma, but well,
you didn't hit that girl in the car. Like, why
no,
is it your
but
karma?
I made the horrible joke.
Oh.
And everyone laughed at school. And I said, you know what happened? She tripped over her skirt. And that was in 7th grade. Everyone's like, Roseanne is horrible. Roseanne is awful.
Yeah, that is life, isn't it?
But,
they laugh at the joke and then go, you shouldn't have said that. And go, you laughed. Two things about the Mormons, I'll say. One, like, polygamous more than anything. Stop acting like you're normal.
Yeah.
Have you seen like Sister Wives?
Yes, that is absurd.
Every episode, they're like, we're just like a regular family. You're not. You're not like a regular family. That's why they gave you a show. Like on TLC, like these like little people where it's like, they're like, we're just like everyone else. We can do anything you could. No, you can't. You're little. Like that's why they gave you a show. You're so different than us that they gave you a show. They're always trying to pretend like they're like us.
Well, but they are, because I remember the Little People show. I was drinking with the mom.
Yeah.
And, she gets drunk faster than I do.
Yeah, because she's little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, when she's all drunk, it was all the same fucking misery as me.
Well,
these
the same,
motherfucking agents, these Jew bastards, same.
Well, more similar than not, but also like, don't pretend you're like a regular married family. You have 6 wives and that guy with the weird balding.
No, I was talking about the little people.
Yeah, the little people are somewhat similar.
The Mormons, that Cody, he's got some fucking nerve.
Cody's the dad, right?
Yeah, he's got some fucking nerve.
He's weird.
He's weird.
I think he's gay.
I think he's gay too.
There's like one episode
gay
where he was
a son of a bitch.
I think he is.
I think a lot of guys that try to have sex with a lot of women, they are gay.
I think so. Because there was an episode where like his buddy from college came, and I have a lot of guy friends. I'm very bro-y. I like click with dudes well. So like, I'm making this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just what I said. It sounded like I was being like, I'm not gay. No, but so I'm not one to criticize this type of behavior, but it was just creepy. He had a friend come on from college, like on an episode of like Sister Wives, but then he like set up all these pads in the garage and they wrestled.
Oh, that's so gay.
It was really weird. It was like,
well,
we used to wrestle back in high school, and now we wrestle. And I was just the whole episode's these 2 dudes like sweating and like. It was just like strange.
It's like what my dad told me. My dad was a unique individual. Like one time I asked him, Dad, how come Santa Claus don't come to our house? He comes to all the neighbors' house. How come he don't come to our house? I was about 5. He said, because Santa Claus hates the Jews.
That's hilarious.
But
that's a funny answer.
Yeah.
Santa Claus is an anti-Semitic piece of shit. I have to buy you guys some gifts.
We never got nothing.
Oh, not even for Hanukkah?
Hell no. I
thought you got gifts on Hanukkah.
We got the lousy Hanukkah geld of that rotted chocolate and gold foil.
And chocolate?
No, we got the chocolate in the gold foil that tastes like mothballs.
Yeah. The one that's in the little thing you said. Yeah.
Damn, I'm still angry over that. But he said, Roseanne, you should lose weight because the only kind of husband you're going to get is a $3 bill. Because that's what he called gay guys. A $3 bill because they're the only ones that like a fat girl.
Wait, this is your dad that told you this? What age was this? No wonder you have a dark sense of humor.
That's true, though.
All I could get was a $3 bill because they're
amazing.
the only ones that like a fat girl.
Fat guys like that.
But that is just like Cody. All his wives are fat.
Yeah, it's so funny because like he always is like getting a new one. He's like, I think I'm good, and then he'll get a new one, and then you can watch the other ones pretend like they're not jealous, but they're super jealous. Yeah, it's very strange.
They get the new thin one, and then she
gets fat.
She turns fat within 2 years.
Well,
you know why they turn fat?
They don't know how to work out.
Well, it's a sexual reason why women get fat.
What is it?
And I'll leave that to
armoring.
Huh?
Armoring.
Well, it is armoring up because of, you have to protect yourself from the sexual disappointment that awaits you.
Yeah, that's Yeah, you know what I don't like about Mormons? Now that I'm thinking about it, here's what I don't like about Mormons. The not Mormons annoy me more than the Mormons. So when you're in Utah, these people, they'll be like, "Are you gonna do Mormon jokes?" I'm going, "No, no Mormons are coming to the show." It's all these people that are so proud to tell you they're not Mormon because they grew up Mormon.
Mhm.
So,
Jack Mormons.
So now they're like, "Look at all my tattoos. I'm so not Mormon. I say fuck.
I drink
I
coffee.
curse." And you're like, "Wow, you're so not." They're so proud to be not Mormon.
Oh, but they should be proud because I have to say, all my friends were Jack Mormons, and they are the greatest people on
What's
earth.
a Jack
Yeah.
Mormon?
The ones that just go, I was raised Mormon, and now let's party.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind that, and I like. It's just funny when they're trying to like. We're all not Mormon. I'm not Mormon. You're not Mormon, but like they have to like make a big show about how not Mormon they are in Salt Lake.
Well, you have to rebel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
They
very
all go
childlike
back
rebellion.
when they're 40.
They're like, "Look, a skull tattoo." You're like, "Wow, you're so not Mormon."
But they are good people. Did you see that play?
Book of Mormon?
Yeah,
I think it's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Is
in my
that
life.
the funniest
I agree.
thing you've
My favorite.
ever seen in your
I
life?
literally, as like a guy,
It was genius.
guy
It was
like myself.
Pulitzer Prize level
Oh, really?
comedy.
Oh, I thought you said it won one.
And I think
It
it did.
should have.
It
Did
won
it?
a bunch of Tonys. It's a huge
It's so
success.
brilliant.
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen too.
Yeah.
I
I've
just
seen it
remember
5
being
times.
like, theater's gay. I don't want to go
It
to like a
is.
play.
Yeah.
And then I saw that, and I was in wonderment. I was like,
Yeah.
this is so creative and funny, and like, someone
And
made.
it wasn't a put down of them. It
No.
was it was uplifting and
They clearly
showing-
did their homework. Yeah.
I think one of the writers or several are Mormon.
Oh yeah.
And
Well,
the Mormon
whoever.
church supported it, actually, the play. I don't know if you guys know that. They were
That
behind a
was
lot of it.
phenomenal and groundbreaking that
Yeah.
they supported that.
So good. I remember. I don't remember where I saw it, but like someone was making the comparison of like the Book of Mormon is a great example of how to like deal with life.
Yeah.
So like those Columbine kids who grew up in like a little mountain town in Colorado, they have felt like all these reasons, like, oh, everyone's mean to us and the girls don't like us and we're being bullied and pushed around in school. We'll go shoot up the school. Whereas Trey Parker and Matt Stone grew up in a Colorado mountain town. Everyone bullied them. Everyone pushed them around. Girls didn't like them. And the way they got back at the city and the world is by becoming wildly successful about
Right.
making a show about their stupid mountain town.
Yeah.
Like they made characters and they made it a show and the script, and like I always reflect on that, like such a productive way to deal with trauma.
Well, comedy's such a great art form, isn't it?
100%. Yeah, if something pisses you off, you can go make jokes about it. It's
Do
great.
you feel like I feel it saved my life, or I probably fucking I don't know what.
100%.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just such a great feeling. Like if a good thing happens to me, what a really nice thing. But if a bad thing happens to me, I get some material out
Yeah,
of it.
no
I get a
shit.
funny story. I could go
Mhm.
be like, you won't believe what just happened, and like it's I don't know, everything's good.
It's a good coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go, well, somebody had a line, I can't remember, but it's like, I went through this and it was all horror. But at the end, he said, but I got 7 minutes.
Yeah, 100%. I think about that all the time. But even just like even if you're not a comic and you're watching this, the stories that you can tell your friends or complain about is like that's always funny. Like if a bad thing happens, great, this is hilarious. And if a
Yeah,
good thing
craft
happens,
it.
that's good. It's a good thing.
That's why I love Trump when he was talking about, he likes to do the weave.
So
You
what
know-
is that?
When he creates the story and
Oh,
how
yeah,
he tells the story. It's like a comic thinks that way.
He
How
also
to turn
made up
tragedy
words.
into, yeah.
Yeah, he like made up words to describe it. I think he did it on Rogan, right? He was like, I call that the, and he was like, you're like, he's doing comedy, but he's got all the words mixed up. Yeah, the weave.
I think he's a comic.
I think so too. Yeah, he's got a comedic brain for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is cool for us comics to see.
I agree.
That's why I don't understand why woke comics, which they ain't funny.
Not now. God,
They're
it's
so not funny.
terrible.
How
yeah.
can you be funny and woke? Honestly,
Um,
that's hard for real.
It's a sneer. Like on Saturday Night Live, those fuckers that are woke on the the news.
yeah,
It's just a fucking snare.
it is. It's all clapter and it's all like,
Yeah.
just people agreeing with what they're saying, but it's not really, it's not a joke. Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah, because comedy's supposed to take the piss out of power.
Yeah, there has to be a butt of the joke.
Mhm.
And if you just have sympathy for every butt, then you can't make it the butt of the joke. But that's also the point of comedy, right? Like that, like medicine's the best laughter. Or medicine's the best.
Laughter's
the best medicine.
He's dyslexic.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, if laughter's the best
But it's
medicine,
true the other
you
way,
only
too.
put medicine on things that are bad, like a sickness, something that hurts. Like that's why Jews are funny. That's why black guys are funny. That's why like we're all facing a battle. We're all can be funny. It's like, well, nobody wants to just hear jokes about, you know, balloons. Like
Right.
there has to be some stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like Norm?
He was my favorite comedian.
You mine too.
Yeah, I'm obsessed.
I can
with,
tell you liked him. And
I'm very
watching
inspired by him. Yeah, like
Mhm.
very influenced by him. And I used to feel guilt about that. Like, oh, people are gonna think I'm stealing from Normie. But it's like, no, I grew up on The Simpsons. I grew up on Norm Macdonald, Patrice O'Neill, Daniel Tosh. As I got a little bit older, was
Yeah.
like a huge part of my. And so yes, when you see me perform, you could draw any of those comparisons from the things I really liked growing up. Andy Milonakis.
Oh yeah, I
Tom
liked him
Green
too.
was like a big, so
Green,
I
yeah.
loved like prank stuff. There's just so many things that inspire me. I love Jerry Seinfeld. People are going, "Oh, that sounded like Jerry." I go, "Okay, yeah, I love Jerry." So I'm not ashamed of it as I used to be. I used to be like, "Oh, they think I'm a thief," but no.
How
I
long
love
you been doing it?
Since 2005.
So what's that? 20
19
years?
Yeah,
19, 20 years.
20 years, almost 20 years. Yeah, in April.
It's no secret that weight loss drugs and GLP-1s are all anybody's talking about right now. But you don't need to be rich and famous in order to get access to these medications. Through HERS, you can get access to a budget-friendly weight loss program, personalized just for you. HERS connects you with a medical provider who will work with you to determine your best treatment option. If prescribed, you get the medication as part of a doctor-developed weight loss program, complete with ongoing support, check-ins, medication adjustments, and answers to questions 100% online at no additional cost. Through HERS, weight loss plans are more affordable with compounded GLP-1 injections starting at $199 per month with a 12-month subscription paid up front. No hidden fees, no access fees, and no membership fees. Start your free online visit today at forhers.com/Roseanne. That's forhers.com/Roseanne for your personalized weight loss treatment options. HERS weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription is required. Restrictions apply. I see you as a youngster.
Yeah, well, I
You know.
feel like a youngster in this business.
Yeah.
It took me till like about 5 years ago to really wake up.
How old are you?
41.
I remember when Rodney told me, because I asked him, maybe it wasn't Rodney, it might have been some other old guy comic, because I hung out with all of them. I loved them. But maybe it was Rodney. But he said, because I go, when do you get to the jamming part,
Yeah.
And he said, oh, it takes about 30 to 35 years to create a comic.
Wow.
And
I
I'd
love
already
that.
been doing it 20 or so years, and I was kind of offended. And I was like, well, he goes, it takes that fucking
Sure.
long to arrange your brain to get to that step of knowing the craft and being able to create it in the now.
Right.
And now, it's been 40 years, and I'm really enjoying that feeling of freedom and like being able to create in the now
Yeah.
on stage.
You're like a star too, so it's a little like different. Like, did you take time off from stand up? Like, what was like
years.
the long years of time?
15 years.
Yeah. So there you go. That's you're gonna have to make up for that. You
Yeah,
know, like
because I always, was working, and so
Yeah.
it takes so much
of course.
focus and all that shit to get an hour.
Oh, for
Christ.
sure. Yeah. Well, like I remember Paul Reiser.
You've got so much material.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about how prolific you are.
It's because
It's
all
like
I do.
every day.
Well, I
you're
don't
putting
sit in a
something out.
writer's room. I don't have, I don't, like, it's the Roseanne show. It's named after you. Like, I mean, and that is a tremendous amount of work.
Yeah.
Like, and then you were doing all these other things. I just have my little stand-up. So, like, I can all day just see things and write things. And so
That's what Tyler Fisher says, too.
Yeah.
it's
Well,
just
like
so,
anything.
it's all I have. It's just
Yeah.
me. I don't have wife or kids. I got so it's very easy to always be thinking of things and tinkering with things. They go, oh, you sold out the 2 shows. I go, let's add a third, like I'll do more jokes, it's just, I always think to myself, like, it's just impressive to watch someone like you do the stand-up because I'm like, man, she's doing all this other crap. There's just all this other stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't do a lot for I guess it was 3 or 4 years where I was just stewing in my shit,
Oh, really?
Well, trying to get back up off the mat,
Sure.
you know.
But I imagine stand-up would have been a great place to just go, hey, here's,
That's what I did. I
Yeah.
went back to stand up because, I needed to.
you can have a voice. Yeah, you can, like, defend yourself. It's so
Yeah.
unfair when those things happen.
Yeah, but it was
Or
you know.
podcast is a great space for that, too.
Yes.
yeah, but just to go back to the relationship with the audience, that live
Oh,
thing.
it's the best.
It's
And if they
so
came to
great.
see you, they like you.
Yeah.
So it's like, people aren't going to...
I like it when they don't like me too. That was the
really?
one thing when I was in Austin at Joe's place before he did the mothership, and somebody was Ron White or somebody was bringing me up. No, it was my other friend that doesn't talk to me anymore.
Who?
What's his name?
Well, it was Ron White that introed you, but
The other one, the crazy one. God damn
think
it!
about it. Sorry.
What, someone
He's so
done talk to you?
brilliant.
I thought it was
Yeah,
Tony.
he goes crazy, and then he calls me every 5 years. Are you mad at me? I go, I thought you were mad at me. We're just both crazy.
Yeah.
But he's
Who the
a
fuck
great
is this?
comic. What's the one that I was gonna?
I thought it was Tony and Ron White.
No,
that
the
night.
one that lives in Arizona, Bisbee, Arizona.
Oh, you're talking about Doug Stanhope.
yeah, Doug
Oh,
Stanhope.
Yeah,
yeah, he's crazy.
So he's like, you got to go on. And
stand up.
my daughter was with me, and she goes, "Don't go on here. It's a blue city. They're gonna hate your guts." So I was drunk, so I go, "Fuck off, bitch."
Yeah, who cares?
So I went up there, and it was a blue city, and it went great.
That's
And
great, yeah,
so I
'cause
kept
yeah.
doing it because I was like, they're gonna hate me, so I have to shift into third gear or something. It just all came back.
I love that.
Don't you love that?
I love it. And I also, like, people will sometimes see my act. They go, no way you do that in Los Angeles. I go, yes, I do.
Yeah.
And also, no matter what the audience is, I give them a lot of credit. Like, they're going to recognize if a joke's funny.
Yeah.
And it's almost better when I have, like, people watching me that are like, I know they hate me, and then they laugh. And I'm like, that feels great because
It
they
does
didn't
feel
want
great.
to.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't about agreeing with me. This is about laughter. It's about comedy.
Yeah.
So I don't need you to agree with me or to vote in any certain way. If I went up there and did my job and made you laugh, like, that's the job.
Yeah.
So, like,
Do you
no
get
matter
heckled a lot?
what's
'Cause-
that? No,
well,
never.
really? Wow.
Yeah. I used to get like, or I didn't used to. When I first started, I had as many hecklers as anyone else
Yeah.
who's unknown. But as time has progressed and I've gotten up better in my act, I don't talk to the crowd much, so they kind
Yeah.
of they learn early, like, we're just not going to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And then 2, it's like the people who might be considered hecklers in my audience are just really overexcited people.
Yeah.
So they're just like happy to be there. So they're like,
Mhm.
we love you. Or, they'll say like a joke, take your shirt off or something sexual like that. But that's not heckling. That's
No.
just
No.
someone who's happy to be there.
But you're
Yeah.
doing non-woke comedy in California, which you've got a lot of comics we know in a lot of trouble. There was hecklers, they got thrown out.
I had
This
one
was a long
guy
time ago.
push back on a joke. I was making fun of the homeless.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had a great homeless joke.
Never punched down.
And
Love
this guy was...
it. What
guy
was the
got all
joke?
pissed off to like impress his girlfriend. But then I like basically just ranted to him.
What was the joke?
What was the joke about the
I've
poor
got
homeless?
tons of homeless jokes.
You're
yeah.
horrible to make fun of the homeless.
I wanna hear
They're
it.
terrible. I'm over it. My sympathy's gone. I started the joke by so I was talking about like traffic or like whatever mundane subject I was talking about. Then I just kind of like look into the audience kind of like thoughtfully and I'm like, why do homeless people have so much stuff? You think that'd be the best part about being homeless is you don't have stuff. You're not a capitalistic social like possessions. But no, they got tons of stuff. Some of it's my stuff. But it's just me. And this guy like threw a big fit. And I then lectured him. I was like, shame on you. I've been up here 15 minutes. I've made fun of alcoholics, right? I'm alcoholism. I made fun of women. I was very aggressive. And so were all the other comics about everything racial. But then you heard one that you couldn't handle and you wanted to be a little brave boy in front of your girlfriend. Comedy's about making fun of things. And it wasn't even funny. It was just me lecturing him about comedy. And the place like stood up and clapped. And I was like, all right, I'm out of here. So
yeah, we're sick of being held down and
so
told
stupid.
You can't make fun of the powerful.
Yeah. Or punching down. I don't mind. I'll punch down.
I'm with you. Thank you.
I don't care at all.
Yeah, no shit.
Because I don't see it as down.
No, it's just funny.
There is no down.
Right. Like, in fact, to imply I'm punching down makes it sound like I think I'm above someone.
Yeah,
I'm
it
not.
does. Right.
Yeah. And also, I'm not talking about like some boxcar hobo with like a bindle stick. I'm talking about the 7,000 pill-addled drug addicts jerking off in front of the school. Like,
but enough about Congress. So I love your whole alcoholic trajectory. I want to go there because it's so dark.
Let's
and
talk
hilarious.
about it. Yeah.
So how'd you worm your way into becoming a full-blown alcoholic?
Well, we talked about it before the podcast. Is that like I only kind of have like one gear. Mm-hmm. I was a church kid, and a pretty late bloomer, so like kind of like nerdy and goofy and skinny. And a church kid, so I didn't have a lot of opportunities with women. They weren't like throwing themselves at me. But then also in my brain, I was like, I'm waiting till I'm married, and so then once I had sex for the first time ever, like at 21 years old.
Is that your first time? Oh my gosh,
that created a monster because I'm like, now I'm gonna do this as often as possible with any woman who wants to. Like that, like created, and then same with alcohol. I didn't have a drop of alcohol till I was 21, and then that created a monster. I'm like, I'm going to drink every day. Like, it felt cool to have a beer.
Did you combine alcohol with having sex?
Oh, all the time.
Because that's kind of
100%,
the thing that makes you into
And towards the end, pills and alcohol.
Oh, good.
Because all my friends, because all my friends were partying at my house, and they're doing cocaine, and so they're up all night. But since I was just drinking, I would like pass out, bring a girl upstairs and go to bed or whatever, and then I'd hear them partying till like 6 a.m. and I'd be like so jealous, like, man, those guys I'm missing out on the party, So then I started like popping like Adderall while I drink, and then that's when all the problems got like darker as far as like sending texts I don't remember, ranting about some shit I knew nothing about just to like sound, smart or something, or drinking and driving, all those kind of like things, that's when it started.
Was that to get girls? Did you get more girls when you was acting that way than you did without?
I think I did, because the opportunity presented itself more often.
Well, maybe you were more courageous to approach them.
That's it. And it was more like the setting of drinking is a sexual setting. Like, oh, this is heading in a direction, Whereas opposed to like if there's a woman I'm interested in now, I'm like, let's hang out. And then you're kind of like waiting for the other person. You don't really know. Like, I know the moves when you're drinking, know?
Yeah.
It's tricky.
Yeah, that would be weird. So, it's so funny because it's like you have so much courage to go on stage.
Oh, yeah.
But then in one-to-one interactions, there's none of that courage, right?
Yeah, it is strange. It's like I blame young people for this, but I'm also guilty of it. Is like I have way more game messaging someone.
Yeah.
Because then there's, for whatever reason, maybe I've just practiced that more, but like I take way more risks verbally.
Well, because you don't have to see them.
Yeah.
You don't have to see how they're looking, like when they go, you just keep going.
Like, oh, that hurt my feelings. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I hate talking on the phone or face-to-face to people. I love to text.
Oh, I love doing this. I love a face-to-face conversation. I'm good. Like, if I can get her to coffee, I'm good. But it's like let's say there's a beautiful woman across from me at the bar, right? And I've had this happen thousands of times. I won't just walk over to her and go, "Hi, I'm Jeff." Like a normal, like that sounds so easy the way I'm describing it. Instead, I just stare at her like the whole time. I probably look like weirdo. Like, why is this guy just staring?
When I was
drinking, like at bars and stuff. But I would like my friends would be like, "Jeff, she's looking back at you and smiling. That's her kind of dropping her nap or her
Kerchief.
kerchief going like, yes, come on. And I just wouldn't.
Yeah.
And I'd end up leaving the bar after like an hour of just staring at a poor girl. But like, I don't know what that is.
Well, that's part of dyslexia and misreading social cues and not knowing how to interact.
I was just too afraid of I don't know what I thought would happen. I don't know.
No, the intro is the hardest part.
Yeah.
It's like we were even talking about stand-up. Remember, it was Sam Tripoli.
I find my
The
best
intro's the
pickup
hardest.
line is always worked for me, and I was going to use it on you today. What the hell is your problem?
Yeah,
It really works. Always.
I
And what
do
the
like
hell
that
is
kind of
your
stuff.
problem?
So what the hell's your deal?
What's your fucking problem, pal?
It is funny.
But what is your problem,
What do you got
Jeff?
to say for yourself, Roseanne? That's what I say. What do you got to say for yourself?
What is your fucking problem?
Oh, I
Al?
got lots of problems, but I'm really happy with them.
That's cool.
Yeah. Booze was a problem towards the end. It was so fun until it wasn't. I look at
What's your last? Did you have that realization at some point, which I think is the real deal, where you're like, you know what? I can't numb myself one more second.
I think life is twice as exciting when you're present for it.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And as fun as booze was, it was really great. And if you like drinking, drink. There's a reason people do it.
Yeah.
All these vices, we don't live here long. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
But if it starts interfering with life itself, then take a look at yourself and ask yourself if it's worth it. Because I got so much time back by being sober.
Well, I want to
I
hear
spent so
about
much
your.
blackout.
I want to hear about your last time where you're like, okay, God,
You want rock
I'm
bottom?
gonna get. I want rock bottom.
Oh, I'll tell you
I'm
rock
gonna
bottom.
get sober.
I want-
Yeah, I'll tell you rock
Oh
bottom.
boy, I love these stories.
So I was drinking and popping pills till late at night.
what kind of pills?
Just Adderall.
Oh.
And I had people at my house, but I knew I was going to go meet my ex-girlfriend
Mm.
the next morning.
Okay.
Now, to give you some context on that, I hadn't seen her for 2 years. In Jeff Brain, I'm still in love with her. I think that she's, the best woman I've ever been with. I was very, very enamored by her. In her brain, I was just some distraction she had while she went through a divorce. I wasn't even really her boyfriend, and that's okay. That's just where she was. Like I wasn't as important to her as she was to me. But for some reason in my brain, I'm like, she wants to get coffee with me, and she's in California. Maybe this will. So I'm celebrating in a bit. Like, in a way, I'm celebrating the night before. Like, I'm going to meet with my ex-girlfriend tomorrow. It's going to go great. She'll see
We're
me
gonna
and win
get
her
married.
back. Yeah, I'm just an idiot.
Yeah.
But I was like a little
Ouch.
puppy dog, just excited. But because I drank so much the night before, I went to bed at a decent hour, for an alcoholic. It was like 1 a.m. or whatever. And for a, Saturday night, that's pretty good for me. I'm thinking I'm going to bed early. So I wake up at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or something like that, and my phone is ringing off the hook. I'm late. I slept through my alarm. Bad first impression if I'm trying to
Bad.
win her back is now she's waiting at a coffee shop for me.
Oh no.
So I'm like an idiot. I'm afraid she's going to say we'll do this another time or, whatever, throw a little fit. So I just as quick as I could jumped in my car, and I'm driving my car. I'm whizzing in and out of traffic, trying to get there as quick as possible, lose control,
Oh no.
Oh, shit.
hit a tree.
Oh no.
Oh, shit.
So embarrassing. The car is, a wreck. Like, I went through a bunch of lanes of traffic, smashed into the street, windshield smashed, all the things
Were you
smashed.
still drunk or? Just
I think
tired?
I was from the night before.
Okay.
And also you get up in a hurry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did sleep for 7 or 8 hours.
That ain't enough.
That ain't enough, especially how much my tolerance was from
Right.
being an alcoholic for so long. I could drink a lot.
Yeah.
And that's not a brag. It's just I'm a big guy. And, if you drink as often as I was from morning to night, you got a pretty
Yeah.
high tolerance. So anyways, I was like, well, I don't want to miss this opportunity to see my ex. And also, I've always been a runner.
Oh,
So
no.
I ran
Gets
from the car.
worse.
Yeah. Oh, it gets way worse. That's just the beginning. So it's not like no one saw this. It's a huge car crash in front of a tree. So people are coming out of buildings.
Hit and run.
People are coming out of the laundromat. Like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. And I'm just running. I run down
That's
the
a
street.
hit and run, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I guess it's a tree, so I don't know if
Leaving
it counts as a hit and run, but
Leaving the scene
just
of
left
an
the scene of
accident.
an accident, and it's like the car's on fire, and I'm just gonna do a quick jog, just trying to hope nobody saw me, but everyone saw me, and there's cameras everywhere. Also, the Tesla footage is just me going the cars record you, so that's embarrassing, and God knows what I said in the thing, and so I run it's probably over a mile. But it's all adrenaline, just adrenaline run. So it just felt like nothing to me. So I get to the coffee shop, and there's my ex-girlfriend, and I'm like, hey. And I just I act like nothing happened. But I'm in my mind going, what am I going to do? Like, this is, I was probably going to tell her once we sat down and had coffee or something. But in my mind, I'm just like, I don't know what to do here. And she's like, how have you been? I'm like, I'm good. I just, I don't know what to say. It's all adrenaline again. I order my coffee. I go to this coffee shop all the time. So I know the baristas, which is a big part of me picking that, is I wanted her to see, like, oh, I'm cool. I know everyone here. So I'm talking to the baristas. We order our coffee. And then I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden a cop comes in. He goes, hey, did you drive here? And I turned, and I'm not a good liar or nothing. I was like, huh? I just kind of turned away from him, I tried to ignore him or something. And then he goes, hey, did you two drive here together? And then I looked at her and I was like, I wanted her to lie maybe before. I didn't know what to do. So finally just turned to him and I go, can we do this outside? And he's like, huh? I was like, can we do, because I didn't want the baristas to see it. I didn't want her to see it. So then I'm trying to get him to go down the street. I'm like, let's go down the street. I don't want to do this in front of, because even the people at that coffee shop, although I don't know them by name or anything, they know I'm like a regular. We see the same customers and all this different stuff. So all the baristas are looking out the window. My ex, who not my ex, a girl I dated that I was in love with, is now looking out the. Everyone's trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm like, let's go down the street. And this guy's like, whoa, man, whoa, and he's starts to put it got a little handsy and all this different stuff. It was very weird. And then I went to jail for 15 hours
for leaving the scene of the crime or driving drunk?
I was over the limit. He made me do we did all the tests. I sat there for a minute after we wrestled around. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, what happened with the girl?
Because they take your phone right away. So in jail, all I was doing is just thinking, does everyone know about this? And I'm like the laughing stock of my friend group. Oh, she saw everything. She saw them put me in the thing. It was more to. Also, I tried every angle with the cops. I tried with hey man, this is nothing. It's not. Then I went to stage 2. I'm like, hey, she's famous. That girl in there, she's famous. And so that didn't work. I tried. I was like, well, I'm a comedian. That didn't work. You don't give a shit what I do. And then I tried I tried literally every kind of whatever I could get. It didn't work. He still took me to jail. Ouch. Also, jail's scary. You ever been to jail?
Yeah.
Dude, those people suck.
Yeah, they do.
Everyone in there, I was like, oh, these are I don't ever want to come back to this place again.
Yeah, that's what I thought
so
too.
Scary. And
I never saw women like that before or after in my whole life.
Mom, we keep telling people to do precious metals. We tell them for a reason. We don't need to get into it. People that watch the show know that we talk about it all the time. And with good reason. It's real
Everybody's
money.
talking about it.
Everybody does. And especially now with Trump winning and the stock market, it's doing well now, but it's just a crazy time and everybody's seen how crazy it is finally. I think the Great Awakening happened, so to speak, and you really want to put your money in precious metals as much as you can afford to protect your wealth. It's not an investment, it's to protect your wealth. That's really that simple. So I urge you all to do it.
Don't wait till it's too late. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com now and bag up to 10 1-ounce silver Trump coins or a 10-ounce silver American flag bar with a qualifying account. That's Roseanne Barr, gold.com. Noble Gold Investments. Protect your wealth while you still can.
Yeah, you can buy silver and gold or roll your IRA over. Lots of smart things to do.
Well, they put me in detox.
Oh.
So at first. And I'm detoxing from the night before alcohol that I'm not even feeling really. Yeah. They're these are homeless guys and shit that are detoxing from meth or heroin or something. So they're having a physical reaction to the detox.
Yikes.
They're headbutting the glass until they bleed.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, I mean it was really scary in there at first especially. So yeah, and so when I got out, I looked at my phone and no one had heard or known anything about it. They thought I just was being quiet and not texting that day. So luckily I wasn't the laughing stock of the world. And so I was like, oh, the worst day of my life is I'm not going to be humiliated by everybody. It's only who I tell are going to know about it. And then I texted her, said, hey, I tried to play it down because I was so humiliated. I was like, oh yeah, I crashed my car and then I ran because I started thinking to myself, the real reason I ran too is because I thought, oh, they're going to start asking questions if I was drinking.
Uh-huh.
Right. I could suspect that that's where that was headed.
Right.
long story short, she was like, "Oh my gosh, you're nuts," and she seemed like she was like so like, nice about it because I thought we had a friendly relationship. I must have been wrong. But she was like, "Oh man, that's crazy. Like you're a nut. You just left your car." And I was like, "Yeah, I was scared. I was just like, trying to get to this date or whatever." And she's like, "Oh, and it seemed like it was no big deal. I'm going through everything. My manager takes me to the courthouse, the whole thing. I had to go went and bought a new car the next day, and then she told it on her podcast.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and made me look like a pretty big loser. And also the thing too is like, she didn't say my name or whatever, but like have you ever listened to someone talk about you and they're not aware that you're listening to it?
Yeah.
The way she spoke about me like crushed my heart. She was like, the way she was like talking about me, she was like, I don't even know why I agreed to go to coffee with him.
No.
Yeah, and then her like co-host is like, yeah, why would you go to coffee with him? She's like, never again. Like she talked about me like I was the biggest loser stranger in the world. And then obviously the tabloids and everybody knew exactly who she's talking about, so it became this big story. And that was so humiliating that I was like, I'm gonna have to be sober. I'm gonna start telling her secrets on everything. I'm gonna start, and I didn't want to drunkenly deal with the mess.
Yeah.
But didn't the judge tell you had to get sober?
No, that's just in my act.
Yeah, I love
okay.
that joke.
Yeah.
But I love that joke.
Although I did have to go see a therapist, so sometimes in my act I'll use it for that part. I'll be like, I'm in therapy. It's court ordered. But the actual sobriety was my choice, and then I just started feeling so much better. Because as you age, you get the aches and the pains, and I like waking up without alcohol. I was like, man, I feel like a superhero. Yeah. Like it's crazy.
So you like it?
I really love it. Yeah.
And so, how long's it been since you've been sober?
14 months.
Congrats.
That's over a year.
Yeah, a year and 2 months.
Do you go to all them funky meetings?
Sometimes, yeah, but only because I go to one meeting only, and it's all comics.
Oh yeah, I used
to
love to go there and because you can steal material. No, I'm kidding. But no, they have good stories.
Yeah, comics. And also there are people who love me and they're like, they understand like the business and like we'll bitch about the same things. Like people are in the shares. It's like a 2-minute share, 3-minute share. And they'll be like, this week Netflix is a joke and I wasn't invited to it. Like we're all kind of complaining about like the business in a way too, but like we're all addicts, so it worked out.
That sounds like a great podcast if you film that.
Oh, it was.
But it's anonymous.
I'm joking. It was a joke.
I was
but
married.
It would be.
I was married to a drug addict, alcoholic. Who shall remain nameless.
Very liberal.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And he used to have the AA meetings at our house because, they were all a lot of famous guys and him.
Yeah.
But no, like all these rock star guys, and they'd have it down in my living room, and I'm horrible. And so I would like listen through the heating vents at what they were saying. And then later I would say, all these guys came to my house for Alcoholics Anonymous, and I would
Oh, that's funny. You know who was here? You start naming the guys.
Yeah, for the.
I do like saying.
I made the names up,
but still funny.
Yeah,
I like doing the. I like saying.
But I did hear
Jeff Dye, alcoholic. Like that's always my favorite thing to do, first and last name, and like point to myself enthusiastically like before I share. They're like, you shouldn't be proud of being an alcoholic, but yeah, it's fun.
But I did hear like really big stars talk about, like my favorite one I heard down the heating vent. There's this one, he's dead now, so it's okay.
Okay.
But he's like, well, yeah. But I guess I shouldn't say his name either, but I will. He's like, yeah, well, Ringo was saying, well, I'm getting a blowjob from Miss Sweden. That was one of the ones I heard.
Just comparing,
who they're getting a blowjob from. And
it's weird that your resume would be part of that. They're still bragging.
And I was like, yeah. It's like, aren't you supposed to be talking about your relationship with your higher power?
Yeah, and that's supposed to be some sort of thing.
They was all just talking about who they got blowjobs from.
They're all bragging in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that with the church. I grew up like in the church, and anytime someone would tell me their testimony, it was like they were like, I feel like they were a little too proud of it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, buddy, me back in my 20s.
I had fun.
Dude, I was really lost. They would like mask it. They would like use these buzzwords for the church.
Yeah.
I was just a lost sinner, Jeff. I was having sex with some of the most beautiful girls. You're like, you're just bragging to me.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's very
That's
weird.
what I always thought, too.
Your testimony sucked. It sounds more exciting than,
That's what I used to say. You guys are just all getting together to talk about the fun you used to have.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty easy to get clean when you've lived like that for so long.
Yeah, no shit. Getting blowjobs.
You got it all
Miss
out of your
Sweden.
system. Yeah. Now you can't have that life, and now you've chose to. That's pretty funny.
But they would do good things,
Yeah.
you know.
Always AA has been really beautiful for me, but I think it's because they're all comics. I think that's why I've taken to it so much.
Did it change your comedy to get sober and
Yeah,
go through
the
that?
sobriety's helped my comedy a lot because I used to always joke that I would have been more successful if I stopped drinking earlier because the early show is always great. And everyone in the early show is like, man, this guy should be more successful. He was really funny. But then the late show, everyone's like, we want our money back. That guy's just drunk up there. I'm just like in the front row going, cool tits. Just like literally like I was a terrible comic because I would just get hammered in between shows. It'd be like if everybody...
Ron White tells the best story about that, like doing one show where he killed, so he got all fucked up. And then the next show was death.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And that's when the press came to review him.
Oh, no.
All those stories.
Well, that's what it feels like. It'd be like if you were like a car salesman and you're like, man, Jake's really selling a lot of cars. Let's go get him fucked up at lunch. And then like your second half of your shift, you're just terrible. Good. And that's what it feels like in comedy for sure. Plus we have such a fun job. Our bosses are like shocked when we don't do drugs. Right. Like the bosses of these comedy clubs, they're not like a very professional boss.
No.
They just give you free alcohol. They like give you free drugs. If you do poorly, right? The only stand-up comedy is the only job where even if I do bad, my manager or the manager of the comedy club will be like, fuck them. Like they don't even care if I did good or not. It's crazy.
Till you don't sell tickets.
That's different. Yeah. But I'm saying the actual stand-up part, they don't give a shit about.
Not till you don't sell tickets.
Yeah, you got to still make them some money.
Then it's like, now you won't be back.
Yeah, but if it was sold out.
We thought you were funny.
But if it was sold out, then you could do anything you want up there.
Yeah, I've been through the up and down and the whole thing
can't
over
imagine
40
you being
years.
In the down.
Oh, honey.
Well, in life I can, or like in your temperament or your whatever. But I'm saying like in ticket sales, when would anyone not pay to see your shows?
In the 15 years when I didn't do it, people, thought, they thought I was the TV character. Yeah. And they forgot that I did stand up. So I had to go out there and start all over again,
Interesting.
And they're like, we didn't even know you did that.
Well, I don't know what timeline that is, but at least when I was watching you on television, every show was just a stand-up comic. Everybody Loves Raymond was Ray Romano's, stand-up sitcom. It's a Jerry Seinfeld, Paul Reiser, literally Brett Butler, Mark Curry for Hanging with Mr. Cooper. What was Thea even had a show?
Yeah,
she was but those were all stand-ups.
Show,
you just got a sitcom.
Yeah,
yeah. Even Bob Saget. I mean, he was a comic, and then he was on America's Funniest Videos and Full House.
He was really funny.
I love that guy. Yeah, very funny.
Do you ever follow all that Bob Saget conspiracy theory shit about how he died?
I looked into, it's actually funny you're bringing that up because I used to always say that, like, shouldn't we look into that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People are afraid to look into a thing out of they'll say, like, so for example, if you thought 9/11 was an inside job,
I do.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be socially pressured to keep that to yourself out of respect for people who are dealing with the tragedy, right?
Right.
But it doesn't help those people dealing with the tragedy if it really was an inside job.
Yeah.
We only tend to care about things, or not care about things, but we only tend to look into things once it's too late.
Yeah.
Like the JFK thing, like everybody's on the same page, but now nobody can be held accountable for it because it took too long.
Well,
same with Bob Saget. You might ruffle some feathers by saying that Bob Saget might have had a suspicious death. But if it was something else, we should be looking into it now when it matters.
Yeah.
Not 20 years from now.
Well, they wait till the guilty are dead.
Yeah. But that's that sucks.
Yeah,
I want justice.
I do too.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we'll ever get it.
That's what I hate about karma, Roseanne.
Yeah.
It takes too fucking long.
You think it does.
I feel like it does.
But yeah, it looks that way when all these perverts and shit die happy in their bed in their mansions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I guess everybody says, oh, you never know. But then you kind of do know, hey, they died happy in their mansion.
Yeah, exactly.
So what the fuck is that karma shit?
Right, exactly.
Well, they go, well, he probably was in a lot of suffering of guilt. No, he wasn't.
No, he didn't give a shit. Yeah, like, and he's literally thought, yeah, it's crazy.
But then you got to think, well, this literally is hell. So of course the bad guys are going to finish first.
Yeah, I guess. I hope that hell's real for people like that. It's just crazy that they just get
Don't
rewarded.
you think this whole world is just hell? Like the fucking good people die and the criminals profit, and you know the only thing that keeps it just in any way is comedy.
Yeah, I mean, I've never looked at it that way. I do ponder, if we're going to talk about this, that maybe heaven and hell is here.
Yeah.
And like you choose it every day, and I've seen people in hell, and I feel like I live in heaven. Like I like my life is really beautiful. I'm very happy, you know. Like it's so cool for me to do this.
Yeah.
This is my day, you know. And then I get to go watch the Lakers game. Like that's heaven. Like like I get to like literally be with people that make me happy, and I think that some people
you get to tear shit apart and put it back together in a whole new way to make everybody happy and
they laugh.
Have a minute of joy, and like laughter unscrambles all the bullshit.
Yeah, it's great
for that minute, and it's all about just a higher level of thinking, and I think it lifts people
100%
to laugh with a whole group of people that don't look exactly like them.
Yeah, and also even if they disagree with me politically, they'll listen to me more telling a joke about it than they would maybe turning on CNN or Fox News.
Right.
Well,
like
those
they're
are
at
funny.
least more open to it.
Well, those are funny,
comedically,
but they're not that funny.
What's that?
CNN and them.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like
funny.
If I was a full Trumper Republican, I would never even consider listening to CNN.
Right.
And if I'm a real lefty Kamala person, and I wouldn't even consider turning on Fox News to hear what they have to say. But both of those parties would go to a comedy show and listen to a comic on either side of the aisle. So even if someone disagrees with me politically, they would still hear me out and go, that guy was funny, or that guy tried to be funny.
Yeah, because I always ask the audience who's happy with the election, who's not happy.
Yeah.
Just to see how it's, the split of who's who.
Where have you done that? Like what cities?
Oh, where did I go last?
San Antonio and Austin's the last comedy you've done.
San Antonio.
Nice. Do you like Mothership?
Well, I had a horrible last set there.
Oh, really?
So I never went back. Well, I went back once to try to make amends to God, but I had like a psychotic break.
Oh,
well,
really?
You ate too many mushrooms.
Yeah,
that'll do it. That green room's full of good stuff.
Don't ever go in the green room.
That green room's full of good stuff.
I smoked their pot and ate their mushrooms.
And then I
went on stage and I should not have done that.
Yeah, but that happens. If anybody should understand, it's all those Austin
Absolutely.
comics.
But Tony Hinchcliffe roasted me.
Back in the day on Comedy Central, or
the night I bombed.
Oh, that night.
Right after.
He came off stage after. He didn't think I was there. He thought I was up getting effed up in the green room.
Yeah.
But I was backstage listening.
Yeah.
And he came off stage and saw me, and his eyes go like this.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I go, you dirty motherfucker. I will get so fucking even with you. Expect it.
The time is... Like
but he had a great joke about me. He goes, Christ, if I wanted to see an old lady bomb, I would have voted for Hillary Clinton.
That's good. What's your favorite insult anybody's ever hit you with?
With her personally?
I love to be insulted. Yeah. I think it's
me
hilarious.
too. That's why I said, like, what's your favorite? I know you've got a good sense of humor.
They always go off on me for crazy being married to Tom Arnold. Just the crazy thing always cracks me up.
I've got a special on YouTube right now called The Last Cowboy in LA. So I was booking all these podcasts again, like kind of like a clump. So I did like Matt McCusker's, I did Joe Rogan, I did Your Mom's House with Tom Segura, the normal run of good podcasts. And one of my favorite comments was a guy wrote, "This dude's already ruined 3 podcasts for me this week." I just thought that was the best insult. I didn't just hate this guy, but every podcast I listen to, he keeps being the guest on. I just thought that was so funny.
I got people who love to hate me.
Yeah.
My fans that hate me. I love them. And this one person goes everywhere that I'm on and posts the same thing, and it's hilarious. I always give him the thumbs up. But it goes, The Connors is my favorite show.
Oh, that's good. That was. Did you make? I don't know if you've probably already talked about this on your podcast a million times, but did you make? Do they have to pay you or anything for the
No,
Connors?
they stole it.
You're kidding? They're
No,
allowed
they
to do
stole
that?
the whole thing. And then they, oh my God, don't get me
Yeah,
started.
it's
Yeah.
very sad.
They stole the whole thing. I don't make $1 off them 6 years.
That's wild.
Isn't
It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah. Was Whitney Cummings a part of the Roseanne show?
She thought she was.
I was gonna.
Me and her got in some fucking knockdown
Oh,
drag
really?
outs. That fucking.
Well, she worked on it that 10th
She
season.
did.
the
She
reboot.
worked on it.
On the
and,
reboot or on
yeah.
the
Yeah.
original?
On the reboot.
She worked on the
Oh,
reboot.
I thought she was part of the original. one.
No.
No.
That was
Tom Warner hired her to be one of the
she was like a
head
show.
writers.
Yeah.
I think she was one of the head writers. She really knew how to draw an outline on the blackboard. I've
That's
never
amazing.
seen anyone so adept at drawing an outline on the blackboard, such as Act 1, Scene 1, Scene 2, Scene 3, Act 2, Scene 1.
Was
2.
there stuff after that, or was it just the colon and that was
Just
it?
the outline.
Yeah.
She's good at that.
She did.
None of the story, just the outline.
She didn't get
good.
asked
She,
back.
She
that's all
could
we
break down a story, but I thought she could break down a story, but she was a complete fucking out of her fucking mind.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just crazy.
Yeah, I don't know her very good.
She,
I mean,
she reminds me of.
I just thought like she was like a writer on it because I remember.
Yeah, she was.
She was, yeah.
You can let it
But
fall if you want.
she would say things like,
Just let it
fuck
fall.
imagine the most classist fucking thing you could think that a libtard would say about deplorable, toothless, working class people.
Yeah, and she would say that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
she's a Trumper now, right? Have you seen
Oh,
that?
she is?
It's not out, but you can see it. And she does talk a lot about being pushed a little bit more conservative.
This is like Sarah Silverman claiming
Yeah.
that she's not woke now.
That's what they did
It's
because
like
they realized it's not
every
cool
one of
anymore.
these people turned on me
Yeah.
And
during COVID lockdowns
Yeah.
because I was the only one who was willing to say on screen. Plenty
Yeah.
of people were willing to say it off screen.
Right.
I was the only one on my Instagram going, this is bullshit. I'm
Yeah.
not going to get the vax and I'm not
Yeah.
going to wear the mask and I'm not going to lock down in my house. And then when I put the cherry on the top was when Black Lives Matter happened. And I go, this is wrong.
Yeah.
What's happening is wrong. This
Right.
is like, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to apologize for a bunch of shit I didn't do. And like,
Right.
you can't just make us look like villains just for existing.
Right.
And that's when everyone was like, we got to step away from Jeff. Jeff's gone crazy.
Yeah.
And
I
now
remember.
the same.
They
these-
did that to her too. And now they're like, hey, this being conservative is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
we
they,
could say anything.
and they talk
Yeah.
about how they were canceled. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to talk shit. I won't name names, but the wife of someone's podcast you did, old family friend, she goes all on about how she was canceled and so edgy, and she didn't say shit when my mom got canceled. She was
Yeah.
a family friend, and now they're all moving to the right, and they're like, "Yeah, this is edgy comedy," and it makes me so mad.
It is so very hypocritical.
Yeah, where were you when we actually when comics were getting canceled? My mom was
Right.
getting canceled. You were a fucking libtard.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
to me.
they were all, but
Sorry.
that's how things go. I'm just glad they moved more center away from the extremes.
Yeah.
Because, I was there when I thought that it was going too far extreme right.
Oh, for sure.
I always like to make sure it doesn't go extreme
That's
either
good.
way.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right? That's what comedy is about, the middle.
When also like, I don't know if it's as middle as much as it is just being like reasonable. Like,
That is the middle, common sense.
yeah, just common sense. And like very often, you say like every issue could have like a nice middle to it. You didn't have to point out like an obvious exception to
Right.
defend your position.
Right.
Like, I don't know, maybe Christians could be like, hey, plan B is fine.
Right.
Or maybe like, maybe we could agree on maybe not killing a baby at 7 months or
Yeah.
8. Like, I think we could all agree on that, couldn't
Yeah.
we? But who is going to stand their argument at
Yeah.
like an 8-month baby?
I know.
Or fetus or whatever the hell. So it's like if you anyone who's just realistically have the conversations, yes, cut whatever body part you want off. Maybe don't have the taxes pay for it. Maybe
Yeah.
it's not covered by health care from other people.
Maybe don't do it to kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, exactly. Those conversations could happen and we could meet a reasonable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Instead, they just want to stay in their parties and argue and
Well,
yell at
because
each other.
they're just completely insane.
Yeah, it's tribal. They find their tribe and they just go, this is what. Like-
No, it's not tribal because tribal's for self,
Survival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tribal is people banding together to live.
Yeah.
So they're not tribal.
Yeah.
I said they're like suicidal.
Good point. That's a good
They're
point.
fucking suicidal empathy.
It is weird. Yeah, it's very I
It's-
don't understand it.
They're
Because
like,
I mean it's for survival
I
in
mean,
there.
think about it. It's like we want to be sterilized by the government.
Yeah,
We
like
want
to
to take experimental drugs that may kill us.
Yeah.
And we want to pay for it too. What does this government doesn't have the right to tell us that we don't have the right to work for shit wages in dangerous places? That's the libertarians.
That's
to
exactly
me.
the libertarians. Yeah. I used to think I was a
They're
libertarian
all
at
fucking
first.
crazy.
And then I realized, like, because it sounds good. If you only listen to a little bit of libertarians, they like seduce you.
Yeah,
You know,
it's pretty cool.
they're like, "Hey, why should the government tell you what to do with your house?" And I go, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah.
And then they go, "Why should the government give you water?" And you're like, "Wait, how am I going to get water?" Like, wait, like,
Right.
like at first I was on board, and now I'm going, "Wait, what the hell is going on here?" Yeah.
It's like, oh, good. Let's not have a government. So then the billionaires can just run every fucking thing we do.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's not have any
Yeah, what a
government
great
to
plan.
protect us.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, stupid fucking lemming.
Well, the government gets rich off these things too. It's like everyone's looking for their answers in the government on the left. Like they're like, well, we should make a system. It's like those systems fail over and over, and they're very expensive systems.
Yeah, because it's built in for chaos.
It's built in to make money. Yeah.
Well, also, I mean, it's so evil. It's just an evil, because evil is stupidity. Sanctioned stupidity is evil, because that's against the better interests of everyone alive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very weird that people like I just don't think I don't understand how people don't question more things. Like they just kind of trust it all, I feel like.
Yeah, don't they?
That like I'll say, "Well, why wouldn't you believe in aliens?" And they're like, "Cuz." I go, "I know, but why?" And they're like, "Do you need to see it on the news? Like what would do it for you? Like if there's all these sightings of Bigfoot or aliens or something, like, what do you need before you acknowledge it?" And it's like, well, I don't know. If it was in a zoo, you're like, okay, I guess. Like, why is that your measurement of what is real or not real? It's just a strange
It's
thing.
like they just want to do what they're told.
Yeah, it's very strange.
What do you think of those orbs?
The drones.
Yeah, I think that's how things travel. I think that's how like spirits travel. I think that's how like beings travel that we don't understand.
Yeah.
I think that's how you get from things is light.
I figured, yeah, I do too.
No.
And then I was thinking, hey, maybe they're thought bubbles in this fucking cartoon we're living in.
You're talking about the
That'd be
drones, right?
Huh?
No,
You're
she's
talking about
talking
the
about orbs
drones?
or the
The
drones.
orbs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're talking about the drones. Sorry.
No, the drones got to be a military thing.
Yeah.
I think what I'm worried about is what they're looking for. So if all those drones, whether they're from, there's no way that they're foreign. I think they're
ours.
domestic.
100% ours.
But like, what are they looking for? Is there like a nuke in New Jersey that we don't know about?
That's
Like, what
what I
are they
wonder.
possibly scanning for?
Dude, send him that article that you sent
Yeah.
me because
Do you know Tori?
we'll play it later because it's too late to get.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's AI. This is a belief. It's surveillance drones, but they're AI. So they don't really. They're just looking for threats. And
Interesting.
They know how to avoid radar.
Some people say they're looking for radioactive.
Well, they might be looking for. They might be programmed to look like the weirdest thing was.
They might be looking for that uranium that's missing.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe.
they could also. You saw that Israeli assassination last year with the drone, right?
Yeah.
The face scan drone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all I'll say is
I am so proud of the Jewish people
Oh,
as a Jew.
here we
I
go.
just have to say, because I mean, I'm really proud that they can blow up people with the pagers and stuff.
yeah, it's awesome.
That's like next level.
Yeah, really
shit.
high tech.
High tech.
Yeah.
It's next level.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm surprised.
It's like you thought you were smarter than the Jews, but you're not.
No, now that they've got these murder drones.
Yeah.
Well, that's
There's
what I'm
no
saying.
fucking way. I don't understand why people who blame the Jews for everything and say the Jews control everything and then say, and I'm against that. How stupid is that?
Yeah.
To get out there in public, the damn Jews control everything, including the weather, and I'm against them. Well, you stupid motherfucker.
They control it.
They're going to come.
Fall in line.
They're going to come for you, you stupid bastards. And then I'm like, why would they taunt a people that are so PTSD and have nukes?
I'm surprised more Jewish people haven't come to the right politically.
Me too. I tried to get them there.
After the Middle East stuff, you would think
they are
for
in
sure
Israel.
They would abandon.
No, but they are.
Left.
No, but they are. Because in Israel has their deep state just like we do, and it's the same people.
Oh, okay.
And so over there, they voted out all the leftists and woke up and they go, these people are getting us killed.
Yes. Yeah, it would be pretty easy for me to, like, if I was, my mom's Jewish, but like we don't know much about it really. But like it would be pretty easy for me to go, oh, this is pretty anti-Semitic. This is pretty egregious what's happening. Like, I don't know. I'm surprised not all Jews aren't just Republican now.
I am too.
Yeah.
It's a horrible psyop.
Yeah, it's very strange.
It's a psyop to destroy the Western world. Like Libya and Syria just fell to caliphate. And so everybody on the right and left is blaming Israel. I mean, hello.
Yeah. I don't know. I literally, the Middle East thing is the most puzzling of all the current events for me.
It's because it's commie fucking controlled.
It's frightening. Like, I think it's like one of the things like all the other things I go, this will just be a thing that us Americans will bicker about in policy and bills. And then whenever I read whatever's happening every hour in the Middle East, it's terrifying. Like, I'm actually scared. I'm like,
it's never going to stop.
This isn't 1,000 years ago. Like, this is now.
Yeah.
It's
and
the
you just
same
go, this
story
is frightening.
forever.
Yeah, it's frightening.
But I mean, I think that it is about intelligence and technology, and nobody can beat Israel. And Israel works with Saudi Arabia, and nobody can beat Saudi Arabia either.
Yeah.
Iran's going down.
Yeah.
Well,
the U.S. just does what Israel tells them to do.
Well, and vice versa.
I think it's the other way, and I think the U.S. under Biden is too stupid, and Israel's like, okay, we've hung with you for this long, but bitch, you're wrong, and we're not listening anymore. So, against the advice of the Biden-Obama Bush administration, they just went, we're going to have to do it ourselves. And I love that the people of Syria were cheering, as are the people in Iran, as are the Druze people, going, we're sick of this fucking leftist shit too.
I love it.
Because it always brings a caliphate.
Yeah.
Every time.
I think, again, maybe we just need more common sense everywhere.
We do. And what about God? You like God?
Big God guy, yeah.
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 He's like changing everything, and he's in control, don't you think?
100%. Yeah,
we might be too stupid to see it yet.
I'm the only, I don't know a lot of comics who talk about religion or God.
I do. I talk to all the comics about that.
Well, but they don't do it in their act, at least, or they don't like talk about it very comfortably. Even in AA, they'll say, "Well, I don't do the whole God thing," or "I really struggle with the whole God." But it's almost trendy for them to start by saying they reject the God part, but it's the prayer has helped them, and you're like, well, why did you need to do that disclaimer about God?
Also, AA is about God.
It's supposed to be, but they always go, that's the part I really, because they're just so afraid to associate with religion or dogma or Jesus or God, and it's like, what's the problem?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's like, I cannot fathom that anything could be smarter than me.
Yeah, that's flustering. You're like, oh, God thinks he's so great, smarter than me.
I talk about God in my act.
I do all the time.
Do you?
Yeah, I
haven't seen you do that.
I have a bunch of Jesus stuff and a bunch of God stuff. I do a whole bit about Muslims and like why our God's better.
Oh boy, I want to hear it.
One of the punchlines is bite it, Muslims, we win, best God. My favorite joke in that bit is that I talk about all the things I like about Jesus, and because I start about Muslims, and then I go, no, but Jesus is way better because he died. We don't have to die. We don't have to blow ourselves up or anything. He died for us, so we get to live. That's pretty good. Also, you can draw him. Which is a real strong perk. I don't know if you know that. Like many have died for threatening to even draw the Prophet Muhammad or Allah, and I'm like, but not Jesus. He don't care. You don't even have to draw him correctly. Most don't. Like I'll be drawing Jesus. Jesus himself could be like, hey, I was from the Middle East, and I'm like, yeah, shut the fuck up. I draw him with a white nose, cowboy boots. I did a joke this weekend that was a little risky, but the crowd loved it. And maybe that's because I was in Indiana. But I was like, so many people like to talk to me and other Christians about how Jesus wasn't white. They think that that's some great argument. Like,
Right.
Jesus wasn't white. He was from the Middle East. One, nobody's religion rests on the race of any of
No
our
shit.
heroes.
Right.
And then secondly, we only know the genetical makeup of Mary. He was half God, half human.
Right.
He was from the Holy Spirit. And, God's white. So for sure, for
Boom.
sure,
So good.
at least half white.
All those assumptions, the
That's good.
things we've
It's
piled
crazy.
onto our, and then that's all to keep us from knowing what we're supposed to do,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
we're supposed to do something here, don't you
100%.
think?
Yeah, but I think it's to inspire and to figure out why we're here.
Yeah.
You figured it out.
And also, it's to fix our own damn self.
Yeah.
Jesus said, when you get the desire to pick a splinter out of somebody else's eye, that is a slight indication you got a big
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
beam in
Big
yours.
plank in your eye. Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah.
Isn't
100%.
that so
smart?
true?
Yeah.
That's why comedy's so great, because I think that's what we're doing.
I think so too. Like, it's pointing out the truth, and that's why we're so obsessed with it. We're tapping into a thing, I think. And do you like Rumi? Do you know who that is? The
I do.
Persian poet? Yeah.
Yeah, till Beyonce named one of her kids after him.
She named her kid Rumi?
I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
and
That's
so-
wild.
So that put a damper on it. But yeah, I do love
I love him.
Rumi.
I think that he's infinitely brilliant. And but one of my favorite poems he has is called Moses and the Shepherd. And I'm going to do a terrible version of summarizing the poem.
Good, everyone else has, so go for
Yeah,
it.
exactly. But the poem is something like that Moses is in like a caravan or whatever, and he sees a shepherd praying. And the shepherd's praying to God, and the shepherd's praying like, "Oh, Lord, I wanna sweep your room while you sleep. I wanna feed you milk. I wanna pick the lice from your hair. I wanna put little socks on your tiny feet." And then finally Moses is like, "Who are you praying to?" And then the shepherd's like, "Huh?" And he's like, "You're talking to God like he's your uncle or something. This is a very blasphemous way to pray." And the shepherd was so humiliated that he had offended God or embarrassed himself praying like that he rips his clothes and he flees. And Moses is, that guy prayed wrong. And then God appears to Moses and says, "What are you doing? Why would you? People pray to me in different ways. The Hindus see me the way Hindus do.
Right.
The Jews see me in a Jewish way. The Christians see everyone. I am above your labels
Right.
and above your languages. I'm above your ideas of these things. And it's just so smart to look at religion that way. Is
Yeah.
that like water is a lot of things. We call water H2O. We call it Vassar. We call it Agua. But it doesn't have a word. It just is. It just is this thing. And I think that's how God or religion is that like we know right and wrong. And we know when we're hurting someone or when we're helping someone. And I think that like we put our like Christian labels or our Jewish labels on these things that are bigger than us.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so too.
And it's such a beautiful poem. And like you should listen to it. It's called Moses and the Shepherd. But it's like
I will listen to it.
so pretty and like just a smart way of thinking about our divine.
It is about divine, isn't it?
Yeah. I love
Comedy's divine.
it. 100%. It's
I-
definitely my
I love to watch all comics and talk to them about that because it's so deeply spiritual to me, and
yeah.
I can see it in other comics, just the creative process, and all artists.
It makes us I think especially all artists like musicians and stuff like generally you're a thinker if you
Yeah.
do these kind of things, like you're wondering about where we come from. Like I remember even really young being like obsessed with like why we're here. Like but for whatever reason that was an interesting question to me of like
How old
what's
were you
the
when you
point of all
started
this?
thinking that way?
Um,
You remember your first thought of that?
I remember my first what age I was questioning it was like 3rd grade. Because my friends had no
What's that, 8?
Yeah. But like because my friends had no answers. I was like disappointed in them. I was like, what do you mean? Like they had all the answers when I asked about Hulk Hogan or like Ken Griffey Jr. Like my friends had so many answers. I couldn't get my mind
What
around.
was your question?
I was just going like, why are we here? Or like
Okay.
what's the point?
Yeah.
what are we supposed to do? Like what? I liked those kind of. Like, what happens when we die? I think that's a big one. Like
Yeah.
I was always so afraid of death. My grandma died. I'm like, oh, what happens? Where'd she go? Like what does that mean? But I guess those just aren't questions that many people stress themselves out about.
They say you get those existential questions at about 8 years old.
There you go.
Your consciousness is formed to where you start having those
Yeah.
kind of thoughts at that age, or even younger.
Yeah.
Because we are like born conscious beings.
Well, but I know grown-ups that don't care about those questions.
Well, they probably did when they were little, but it got like scared out of them or beaten out of them to not ask anymore,
Yeah,
So they
'cause-
lose the awe.
I talked to RFK about it like the first time we ever met.
I love talking to him
He's
about
the best.
this stuff.
Yeah, he was like really like he was recommending all these books and like links to articles that he has read about like what happens when someone like gets into like a really bad accident, or like this woman's like canoe went over a waterfall and she was like technically dead, but like her experience of like what happened during that. He's like really into like those kind of but I'm like, I wish my friends were more like this. Like the first time we're meeting, we're able to have like this. It doesn't make him uncomfortable, or it doesn't make people feel weird to talk about it.
I love talking about it.
Yeah.
My one friend, Colleen Kemp, she gave me this book like 30 years ago. Remember her book by Dr. Dink?
Oh God, yes. That's
It was like
explain
how
Dr.
you can
Dink.
tell what needs to be fixed in your life by the marks on your car.
The dents.
That's pretty good.
It's like Louise Hayes, but for car
Yeah,
dents.
but it was like, okay, you have a dent on the left side of your bumper. It means this.
Oh, that's funny.
But after you read it, you're like, Dr. Dink, this is. But then when you read it, it was like, every word of this is like makes sense.
Well, I think that's what like Jesus knew, that we were so simple that he talked to us like, he'd be like, he couldn't just go, hey everyone, treat everyone kindly and like, love each other and help each other. That's the answer. They would be like, they'd look at him like, what are you so he'd have to be like, all right, fuck it. You're a shepherd, right? Okay, if you had a flock of like he'd almost have to like break it down into dumb person, whatever their job was, for them to understand. So
But then he would do these
Dr.
things.
Dink did it like Jesus,
But then he would do these things that defied logic and the physical world too.
Yeah, that helped.
Yeah, but I mean, how awesome is that?
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Yeah.
And they'd sit there, this is something we have no idea about, which is like now going in a rocket ship to Mars.
Yeah, something just mind-blowing.
That stuff happens every day now, and we're like, oh yeah, they're going in a rocket ship to Mars.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All the stuff that we're living in.
I think that like that's so I don't stress about the Mars thing much, because like it's so far removed. Let's say like in 10 years Elon gets us to Mars.
Yeah, I want to
There's
go.
nothing there.
Yeah.
So now
You really think that?
what? That there's nothing
That there's
there?
nothing on Mars?
I meant that there's nothing for me there.
Okay.
There's I'm not going to be able to get out and eat.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to
What if there's a big
there's no
dome?
hotel.
I bet there is.
They'd have
I
to
think-
build all that shit.
I
and
think
then,
they did. I think they used all our money, and it's a big ass dome with KFC and strip
Oh, you think
clubs.
it's
Well, that'd
already
be great.
colonized? It's already ready?
Oh yeah, I think so.
that'd be
Oh.
great. So then I'm in. Now I want to go.
Yeah.
I'm in some elite group going to Mars. That's good. But like for me, it's like William Shatner. I did a show with him, so people always like tweet at me anytime he does anything. He went to like space, right? He's one of the first people
Oh
they put in
yeah,
a
he
thing.
did.
But like, why? So what is the point? Why do you want to go to space? The only part about going to space is to brag to everyone
Yeah.
that you went to space.
Yeah.
There's nothing for us up there. Going up in this thing, it's basically like taking a flight to Florida and they never land, and then they just turn back around and you go, what, you just looked out the window or something?
Yeah.
Like there's nothing up there. People make fun of like Fort Wayne, Indiana. Fort Wayne, Indiana at least has restaurants and people and Fort Wayne, Indiana is infinitely more interesting to me than the moon or Mars.
Yeah, you have a point
There's
there.
nothing there.
Well, it's cool to see the Earth, maybe the perspective, the
You're
view.
still pretty close once you're in
Yeah.
orbit.
But I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's rarefied air.
I think people just go to brag about it.
yeah, for sure.
And I'm beyond that. Like I'm like over trying to brag. Like I don't want to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
To show Instagram that I went to the Super Bowl. I'd rather be at someone's house watching the Super Bowl
Yeah.
with like 50 of my friends.
Well, you say that me and Jake went to the Super Bowl,
yeah, we did.
and we combined. We prayed We were praying to God.
We made
that,
it happen. Our team won because of our
and
prayers.
we prayed to God that the Broncos would
Yep.
win the Super Bowl. What year was that?
That was 97, John Elway, helicopter.
I was going to say, because I went to the Super Bowl and my Seahawks beat the Broncos.
No, I don't want to talk about that
well,
one.
we weren't there.
I was at that one.
That
the
one
New
was
York
not
one.
The
fun.
one me and Jake was at, we was against the cheeseheads, whatever they are. They was all
Wisconsin.
wearing
Green Bay.
cheese on their head.
Jesus.
And so we're like, we're not going to lose to these fucking cheeseheads. And so I go, come on, Jake, we're going to use our biblical strength.
And we
we're
did.
going to pray. And we were going like this. And John Elway had the thing. And so I'm going, I'm focusing and sending and manifesting. And the fucker, he kicked the thing, right? And
Well,
they
it was the
won.
helicopter play, but what's funny is we were in Packers territory and we were in the box. You know, Mom took me. It was really sweet.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there like praying and
Yeah.
meditating with all these Packers. They ended up liking us, but we were really kind
Why did you guys root for the Broncos?
we're from Denver.
We're from
Oh,
Denver.
okay. I didn't
I've
know
been
that.
a
Yeah.
born Bronco fan.
Oh, yeah. We was all about the Broncos. I was there the first time the Broncos ever won the, what was it?
The Orange Crush in 77. I was born in
Yeah.
78. So, you know, we're
okay,
long
nice.
time
Yeah,
Bronco
real
fans.
Bronco fans.
Real Bronco fans.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
geography confuses me.
Oh, why?
Well, because I know that you're from Utah,
Yeah.
which is why I assumed you were Mormon earlier.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But then also, you know, Hollywood. You're a giant
Then
star.
I moved to Denver.
Then I hear Austin.
Well, that's
well,
now.
Denver, then I went to Hollywood. Then I moved to Hawaii because his younger brother had to go to a special school for
For Hawaiians.
Rich kids that are.
rich kids that are ADHD. And then I went to Texas.
Then Texas.
Yeah.
All over.
So I'm all over the place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But Broncos, that's interesting.
You're
We
not a
still
Bronco
love
You know
the
what's funny is
Broncos.
the Russell Wilson for the Seahawks really hurt the Broncos in that Super Bowl.
fan. Yeah, no.
Then he goes to the Broncos,
Destroys our friend.
destroys you guys from the inside.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the evil. He's
It's
the
almost like
Antichrist.
they were like, just keep working for the Seahawks, but you're gonna be a Bronco.
I think that's what happened for
Yeah.
real. But we got a good young guy now.
Yeah.
Jake is
excited.
so happy that they won.
Well, they're winning, but they
He-
I was there at the Chargers game last
His
week.
little
we
girl
lost.
was only 2, and she's standing in front of the TV and yelled, "Fuck!"
Yeah.
Which
Oh, your
wasn't-
daughter?
Yeah, it's
which
my job as a
wasn't good.
dad. No, well, that's how I was raised.
He
turned
said,
out all right.
what did you say? I said, fudge.
Yeah, I tried to cover it up, but then
Try
I
to
sweared
fix it.
5 seconds later. That's part of. I mean, my best childhood memories are watching Dad scream about Bronco games.
His dad would put his fist through the wall
Yeah.
all the
Oh,
time.
one of
Oh,
these
We
yeah,
had
guys.
holes in our wall
Just the
from his
Charger
dad.
game last week.
I used
You
to
did?
always joke
Uh-huh.
that like girls will say, like, you know, women in our lives will go, these boys, they're so into their sports. And I'm like, I have a terrible gambling problem. This isn't sports. You think I care about these boys from Kansas City? I put a lot on this. You know.
That's
Did
hilarious.
you bet on the election?
No, but I should have.
I should have too.
I know, because I wasn't as confident that Trump was going to win. I just
Really?
no, I wanted him to.
I wasn't either. Well, I thought
but
they
I
were gonna
didn't
cheat.
believe he
Yeah.
would.
I didn't either.
Or I didn't. Believe
I knew he
I
would.
didn't believe he wouldn't either.
Yeah.
I was just not confident
Well, I knew
either
that
way.
they were going to cheat, and I didn't think they were going to let him be president. That's what
I knew
thought.
100% who I wanted to win.
Yeah.
No, I knew he's going to win.
That's great. You
I
should
knew
have bet
their
on it.
cheating wasn't going to work this time. But anyway, I should have bet on it, Jake. I
You
would have
should've.
made
Well,
some
you
money.
did
Oh, for
bet
sure.
on it. You bet that there would not be an election in Michael
Oh
and you
yeah, I owe a
lost.
guy $1,000 because I said they wouldn't have an election.
And Tim Pool, I saw this weekend. He still.
Oh
wants you
my
on the
God,
show.
Tim Pool.
He wants you and Malice at the Vulcan or the Mothership to do.
Yeah,
a live
Tim
show.
Pool is a strange guy.
He is
He's-
strange.
he's
You know why he's strange? Because he's bald as a motherfucker under that hat.
Yeah. Well, he's just like always. He's got like such a strange temperament.
He's
He'll,
autistic,
like,
I think.
Criticize something I say as a joke,
Oh, he does.
or
He
like
goes after you?
misconstrue the bit entirely, or then he like stole one of my jokes and
Really?
like tweeted it. I'm like, I can't tell if this guy likes me or if he's trolling me or what.
I
what the
can't
hell is
tell
it?
if he likes me either
Yeah, it's
because
very
I
confusing.
went all the way there to be on his show because fucking Michael Malice, that Jew bastard, told me to go.
Yeah.
And he'd love it. He said, "Oh, Tim will be so happy to see you, and it'll be the biggest surprise." I walk in, and he goes like this. Oh, hi.
Yeah, it was
You're
weird.
kidding.
No,
No,
it was
I
very-
flew
he
all the
goes,
way
hi,
there, and he
Roseanne
goes-
Barr, and then played poker with his
You're
girlfriend.
kidding.
No.
I swear to God.
So I was like,
Then she did the show, and she's, she's conspiracy out there, and
Yeah.
everything she said, he'd correct her right away. He's like, well, that did not happen. That's not true.
But
Like, why do you have
but
Roseanne
he
Barr on your
was
podcast?
correcting
Yeah,
me
you
with
know it all.
bad information because I was saying, well, we won't even go into it.
Yeah.
But whatever.
He's
He
well
sold
researched.
his shit to Daily Wire, right?
Right.
I
yeah,
hope he got rich.
When did that happen?
recently, or he's doing it now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
What were we talking about? The betting and the election thing. So I go to the cigar lounge. I love cigar lounges, and there's one by my home. And whenever I go there, it's just a bunch of guys, and they're all like, we all act like we know a lot about sports when probably most of us don't know what we're talking about.
Right.
But there'll be a guy arguing or like celebrating a touchdown, and this guy over here is going boo, and then this guy gets a touchdown, and we go boo. Right? That's at the cigar lounge. The night of the election was the only time I saw 100% of the cigar lounge rooting for the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I'm in
cool.
Sherman Oaks, but we're all just rooting for Trump. There wasn't like a single person watching a TV that wanted a different outcome. And that's the first time that's ever happened at that cigar lounge. It's hilarious.
It's
In
very
the
telling.
valley?
Yeah, with safe space,
That's cool in the
I know.
valley.
It's
Because
not common.
they're pretty libtard out there.
Yeah,
in the
they
valley.
are, but
Yeah,
not
I
at the
thought
cigar
so.
house.
Good. Well, what would you like to? I'm giving you the floor for the wrap-up smear, as Nancy Pelosi
Oh,
calls
yeah?
it.
Yeah. I'm just happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm happy you were here too,
Yeah.
and we want you to come back.
Yeah,
too.
let's keep in touch for sure. I'm
Are
very
you
close
working
to here.
anywhere?
I am. I got a bunch of dates that I
Here,
are on,
I mean.
not around here. But if you go to jeffdye.com, I'm touring all over. I'm doing the Laugh Factory soon. Like all local spots. Whenever I'm home here, I just do like the Laugh Factory, the Improv. I'm trying to think. I'm doing Yamashiro
Where's
with.
that?
Oh, that's where my little son goes.
Oh, really?
He's doing stand-up.
Oh,
but
it's great. Yeah, it's a good spot. I really like it. So but jeffdye.com has all my dates, and then on YouTube I have a special called The Last Cowboy in L.A.
I like that title.
Yeah, it's good. I love it.
I'll have to watch it. I've been watching all your clips
I would love if you
because
watched
I
it.
loved meeting you on Greg Gutfield's
It was
show.
It was
That
so,
was
yeah.
fun.
That was. I was actually really excited about it because it was like they always send me the list of the people. It's the same people. Like, all right, this cat, this wrestler. It's like it's and that's fine. But I've met them. So whenever I see a name that's like somebody else, I'm like, I wonder who that and I was like Roseanne. I texted Greg. I was like so excited. He goes, "You'll love her. She's the best." So I was very excited.
Well, I'm excited to get to know you a little bit better and
I'm
hear
nearby.
about your process and all that fun stuff.
Absolutely. Do you like westerns? Or you like any
Love.
Okay. So my next tour is going to be called The Vendetta Ride, which
Love
is
it.
based
Oh.
off of Tombstone.
Love it.
Oh, I love that.
One of the
Yeah.
best movies
So
ever.
when Wyatt Earp just decided like enough's enough, and he went and tried to shoot all those cowboys.
Yeah.
I
those
love
gang
it.
guys. Yeah, that's my next tour.
You tell him I'm
The
coming.
Vendetta Ride.
Hell's coming.
And where are you from? You're not from the West.
I'm from a town 45 minutes south of Seattle, Kent, Washington. You know Kent? Have you heard of it?
No, but
It's a pretty big city.
Seattle's pretty libtard.
Yeah, but Seattle used to be good liberal. Like it used
Yeah.
to be like artists and happy and
Yeah.
and like these free thinkers who just
Mhm.
wanted to like do pot and like mushrooms and create art and love each other.
When I used
Those
to go
same
up
hippies
there,
got pissed off.
Yeah.
Now they're all grumpy.
I used to go up there and Kurt Cobain and all that
Yeah.
shit was
The
happening.
grunge.
And now it's like, yeah, because he credited me with the flannel shirt,
Really?
Yeah, because I used to wear that on the Roseanne show, and he said that, whatever.
I love that.
But now, now it's just a bunch of elitist hacks that pretend to be leftists.
Exactly. They pretend to be intellectuals too. They think they're smarter than us just because they have an old hat and they've got cat hair all over their shirt. It's like you're not smarter than us. Like
No.
just because you're smug. Yeah,
Right?
Very strange.
It is the arrogant thing.
Yeah, I don't like it. I like it when they were nice.
Me too. I miss it.
Well,
Thanks for having me.
You wrap up.
You're the best.
you're the best. Time for me to go back to bed. I got up just for you.
I love it. Yeah, well, you're all
With my Trump shoes.
take the gold off if you're gonna.
Thank you, Jamie from Boston. I know I owe you money. I'm Venmoing it.
Wait, that's the person you owe money? The guy that sent you shoes?
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I love my Trump shoes and my Pharaoh hat. And, whatever. So you see,
Thank you.
my patience is running thin with this synthetic
theme song.
world we're living in.
Can I just say something? I think you're one of the best stand-ups out there.
Thank you very much.
I mean that sincerely. I was very excited about this.
Oh, thanks, Jake. That's really nice.
Highly underrated. I mean, and you're successful. Everyone knows you. You're great.
Yeah.
But I think you're underrated.
Oh, that means a lot. Thank you very much.
We're
Thank
happy
you.
to have you.
Thank you. Yeah. Wait. So what's your youngest son's name that does comedy?
Buck.
Buck Barr.
Buck Thomas.
Buck Thomas. Okay. Cool.
But he's just starting. He's only gone a couple times, right?
Keep an eye out for him.
Yeah.
That's
If he bombed last time, he's like me, so you don't want to do it again. I go, bitch, you got to get back out there.
You got to bomb constant. I bombed
Yeah.
for like ever. That's how
Me
that
too.
works.
That's how you get better.
It's also like, I think that anybody who just kills would never be a good comic.
No,
Agree.
never.
Yeah, you wouldn't. You got to get your licks in.
Me and Norm always talked about. I remember one time I got booed off stage in Springfield, Illinois. I would say Illinois, and I was so pissed because Norm did the same thing. I went and stood by the door when they was all walking out, you know, and I looked every bitch right in her eye because there was no
You
women.
didn't want to hide. You just wanted to.
I was, you know, not going to let him get me. And I looked at him, I go, thanks, bitch.
Just no surrender.
Because you have to
Yeah.
be that way. And
Yeah.
Norm, he got booed off too and said that he shook everybody's hand at the door after
That's
booing them off.
great.
But that's the kind of
Yeah.
whatever it
Yeah.
is, balls.
Mental
I hate to say
illness.
balls. Yeah,
The
mental
wave of-
illness.
Yeah, exactly.
The mental illness that you have to.
I love it.
We are so damn brave.
I love it up there. I think it's. I can't believe we get away with it. If I'm honest.
I'd love to see you work live.
Yeah.
Be
Let's
fun.
figure it out.
So you see.